Hey, it's Jacob Wheeler, and you are listening to Jigs and Bass.
Guys, Bobby Roast Beef here. We got another episode of Jigs and friggin' Bigs for you. It is an absolute wild episode this week. I'm telling you, this is the first time in weeks since I have ad-libbed an intro, and it is nuts. I've been out on the water. April is here. The weather is insane. Joe apparently has a story from being on the water today that's just going to blow everybody's minds, and it ended in like insanity at the I don't even know. We just got to get to it. But this show is a great one. In the beef seat this week, we have the owner-proprietor of Gentlemen's Club Jigs, Joe Ravenna. Now, Joe and I sat down last week. We had a great conversation, and this follows up on a question we had in the live well regarding innovation. What do we think of as innovation? Well, wait till you hear about Gentlemen's Club Jigs, because these are very, very innovative and right up my alley. I can't wait to get my hands on some. We also have a few calls in the beef seat this week, some good stuff to go on, and it is the first week of April, and that means it is the official kickoff to the team tournament series, and it has been good, folks. We have all kinds of good stuff. Binya Outdoors is with us. We're going to be talking about the tournament, the first handful of days of it. What's it been like? We'll tell you all about it. Go get yourself something delicious to enjoy. Let's go. Sums it up, I think, probably the best overall. We are officially 3 days into April right now, and it's like everybody in the Jigs and Bigs-averse has tourney fever, you know? And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. How are you boys doing this week?
Doing good, man.
Yeah, doing all right.
Doing good.
It's been up and down. It's been up and down.
Better, but we'll get into that eventually. Been better. We'll get into that.
Man. Well, Binya, how about you? How's things going?
It's not just tournament fever. The damn ice took way too long to get off the water, and I want to fish so bad. So I am so anxious to get on the water tomorrow.
Just to put, to give a visual to the listeners that are listening right now, you guys don't understand. Binya drove past his home lake, and when he saw that it was open water, it was a text response that could only be compared to that moment where, you have your first child and it's a boy, and you're handing out cigars to everybody in the hospital waiting room. That's what it seemed like to me. I'm just like, holy shit. Oh, what a wild fucking week. Absolutely fucking wild. We got some stuff to talk about, but one of the things I do want to mention right out the rip, last week's episode, you guys have been eating it up. That episode with Xander, hobbyist fishing, the feedback has been awesome. I've been doing some shopping and looking around at some stuff as far as what is it, aerospace, that Korean brand of plastics that Xander is distributing in the States, and dude, there's some fire stuff going on in there. The tournament's kicked off. It's absolutely nuts. And we do have a little bit of an announcement here, guys, that I'm very excited to kind of talk about. So we're doing a little bit of a giveaway coming up on Instagram. Okay, this just got confirmed late last night. Doing a little bit of a giveaway with Bass Dash on Instagram. Some of you guys are probably familiar with Bass Dash. They make outdoors apparel, a little heavy in the fishing stuff. I for years have been wearing their hooded sun shirts and stuff like that. So be on the lookout, because coming up in the next week or so, we're going to be dropping a post, and we are going to be giving away numerous prize packs from Bass Dash, plus gift cards. So there's going to be a lot of different winners that'll be able to get in there. But that's not enough, I think. we're going to go ahead and give you guys also a little bit of 15% savings from the Bass Dash website, bassdash.com. We've got a promo code that you can check out over there if you're looking to gear up, whether it's for whatever season we're going into, you're trying to replace some rain gear or something like that. Bass Dash has you covered. And you can use the code Jigs and Bigs, and you can save yourself 15% off an order off of their website. So that's pretty badass. So thank you to Bass Dash. Very cool. We're hoping to see some more really, really cool stuff coming in from Bass Dash. And like I said, if you're not following us on the gram, follow us over there now. And we're gonna be taking all those entries over there. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I think we've got a good handful of prizes that we're gonna be giving out. So there's a lot of opportunity to win. It's gonna be pretty badass. And then we are also this week working on another partner on top of that to work with the show. More details on that come. So we've got some good shit. And there might be even a little bit something special for the jig heads specifically. So sit tight. It's going to be good. Why don't we go ahead and just review our weeks? We'll go ahead and dive in, and then we'll talk about like today. Well, I fished today. Why don't I do this? Why don't I start? And because my week kicks off with Binya, so we'll go ahead. We'll talk about that. We'll kind of take everybody through the journey. Actually, before I do that, let me just go ahead and get this out of the way, folks. We have for those of you listening for the very first time, Jigs and Bigs. We're a weekly fishing podcast. We're all about the fishing community. We're all about growing that community. And the one thing that we all have in common is that we like to go and catch stuff in the water that's got gills. That's pretty much our mantra right there. Here's the deal, folks. We do all kinds of fishy related content every single week. We drop a show late Monday night, so it's there for you Tuesday morning, so you can check it out and enjoy on every single podcast platform there is. It's hosted by myself. I'm Bobby Roast Beef, and Joe Brown, American Vet Fishing, is my trusty co-host. Of course, we got Binya Outdoors that we work with as well, because Binya is handling our online tournament series. So he is our tournament director. It's kind of nice. Like it's almost like we need an office, I feel like, these days. This show is a big ask for folks to listen to because it is pretty heavy duty. We give you one big show to carry you throughout the week. Come and go, listen to it however you want. You can check it out, like I said, on all the major podcast platforms. It's even available on YouTube. You can listen there as well. If you're interested in the show, you want to check some things out, jigsandbigs.com is home base for everything. You hear us mention the online tournament series. There's links there for all of our tournaments. You can jump in. In fact, you're hearing this, so the deadline to register for the April team tournament will have gone by, but you could still get into our nationwide slot limit tournament on April the 18th. And all the details are over there. It all happens through Fishing Chaos. It's a whole lot of fun. You guys are absolutely going to love this. These are also information for, with our partners that we work with, like Dark Horse Tackle, just save you some money over at Dark Horse Tackle. We've got information there. And we have merch if you want to rock the Jigs and Bigs brand. You might notice that Joe and myself are both capped nicely with Jigs and Bigs attire.
We're really in sync with that lately, Bobby.
Really? This is the second week in a row, I think. That's wild. I mean, who knew? Who knew?
Who knew?
But it's a good one. You should definitely. So welcome to our first time listeners. We're going to take you on a lot of different adventures, hopefully teach you something and have a shitload of laughs along the way. So with that said, let's go back and cycle the last 7 days of what had happened. So last week we recorded this show and I got up bright and early the next morning to go meet Binya actually we met in New Hampshire. We met up in New Hampshire. We're going to go hit the Connecticut River hard. And man, it was a tough day. It was really cold. And before we hit the water, I recorded the interview that you heard on last week's episode with Hobbyist Fishing right there. So to paint the picture, because I didn't really talk about this a whole lot in that interview, but to paint the picture, I've talked about this convenience store before, this gas station. It's called Shaw's. And it's right over the New Hampshire line. And it is like, you drive over and my truck, it tells me, it's like, welcome to New Hampshire. And then bang, Charles is right there. So you go in there and it's an interesting place. There's hot food options. There's, obviously like gas and bathrooms and stuff like that. But there's inside this place, there's a full Asian grocery store. No bullshit. So like if you want to go and get 3 different kinds of sriracha or a variety of bean curd or noodles or whatever, what have you, they got you. It's crazy. So we go in there and I do the interview. We go and hit the water and the river was flowing. The river was flowing hard. The water was up pretty significantly, but launch was no problem whatsoever. And at the place where we had launched, there was this concrete sort of like a berm, I guess I'm going to call it for lack of a better word, that kind of jutted out. It was almost as if they wanted to install a dock at some point, but never got to it. And there was, Binya, would you say like 3 inches of water over this?
Yeah, I actually, when we went to get in the boat, I thought about walking on that to get in the boat, but there was too much water for my short deck boots. And I was like, I'm just going to get soaked. So I'm not going to walk on it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So there was enough water on it that I didn't want to try to
be a little concerned
with my deck boots.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. It was that deep. We fished. I think we fished until about like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. You know, we put about 4 or 5 hours in, and maybe even closer to 6. And dude, it was brutal. Like, saw absolutely no life at all other than like ducks and geese. That was the only life. It was crazy. We fished deep, we fished shallow, we fished every transition we could find, zipped around, and I think the max temp was like 38 or 40 degrees. It was brutal. Like, I was bundled up with everything I had, and it was tough. But here's what's crazy: we got back to that launch, and I have video footage because when I pulled up to go beach the boat to go and load up, the water had dropped to like 6 or 8 inches below the surface. So that's like a 10-inch drop. And we're wondering, where's all this current coming from? It's coming from the dam. They're just like letting water out, just letting it go. And I couldn't believe how much it had dropped in that amount of time. So it was Saturday, I know that Binya needed especially to just shake off some of the rust and like go out and do some casting. That was a blast. We had a good time, had a really good conversation about what we would do if we won like the lottery. That's the kind of fishing day that it was. Yep. And it was very interesting. Like, we both have a financial plan like lined up. Neither one of them is a responsible one. But
no, absolutely not.
100%. Yeah. So I think with that, Joe, you should consider, what would you do if you won the lottery? Like, what would you do? You don't have to answer us right now, but like at some point we'll kind of revisit this and see what happens. So
I know exactly what I do, but yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. And then,
but it would also depend on what
like how
I
much.
have a few different plans. How much would be the plan?
I think like let's just go big and say the stuff I was talking about. We're talking Powerball money. Billionaire shit. Yeah. Yeah. We're talking big time. I mean, if you're going to dream big.
Yeah.
Says the guy who like never fucking plays the numbers ever.
Can't win if you don't play, Bobby.
That's true. It's 100%. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. It's a fact.
And you're right in the area where, remember that lady that won it out by you probably like 10 years ago?
Yeah. In fact, when she won that, I would go to that same gas station and just buy scratch tickets because I was like promoting for like trivia and doing Uber and just driving people around. And I'd be like, oh yeah. And I had lights in my stupid. You remember that white Escape? I had lights in there and shit. I'd be like, you're on the cash cab. So bad, dude.
She showed us exactly what not to do when you win the lottery. Because number one, if I win it, you're not going to know who I am. Like, it'll go as a trust. Like, I'll have some lawyer. Dude, she goes up like the next day. I don't know if you remember, like up on the news. I'll never forget it, dude. Chewing gum, like right into the mic, like talking. And
she went shit.
Yeah, she went and like, I think she built a ginormous house in like Wilbraham or something.
Yeah.
But in the process of them building that house, she went and lived at Foxwoods, dude.
Oh, because why not? Oh my god. Jig heads, go ahead and pop in the comments what you would do if you won like $1 million. Like if not $1 million, if you won like Powerball money, like what would you do? I'm just curious. So that was an interesting day. Then I was like, what am I going to get out of the water next? I was planning a couple of things, and I was talking to my buddy Paul, and I said, water's starting to open up everywhere. We should go and hit a spot in my old hood, and we get out there, and it was a grind. It was another pretty chilly morning. Nothing like that Saturday though. It started to kind of get up on the upswing. We get out there and just could not buy a bite anywhere. Nothing. throwing around pretty much like all the regular cast of characters for the temperature, for the structure, all that, doing everything. And then it got to this one point where we were just, the wind really picked up significantly. And I was like, you know what? I go, we're fishing this bank. I go, I just got a feeling the wind's blowing up against that bank. Let's go relatively tight to it and kind of cast at 45-degree angles and bring them across, right? Paul just got into bait finesse, and all he wanted to do was throw downsized shit. And he put a good 18 in the boat on a tiny, it was on a Jig Masters perfected ball head jig in chartreuse with a 3-inch HH Customs guppy. In a color I'm not going to disclose, but he absolutely smoked it. And I think I mentioned this before. He had ordered an Arc Bass Finesse rod and a Arc Gravity BFS reel, and the rod showed up. You know, you buy rods on the internet. Sometimes they show up, and like shit happens. You know, it's like it's shipping in the mail, and so his rod showed up with a broken tip. So he was in the process of doing it. I was like, dude, I have the same rod. I would just borrow mine. So I took my Tatula off, and I was like, well, you want to use your reel? Let's go ahead and do that. So I showed him Jimmy Raw Fishing has a video with a really good tip on spooling those shallow spools or with line, because you don't want to use backing on them. You know, you want to have usable line, but you don't want to have too much line. So I showed him how to do it. Got him all spooled up, ready to go, and that's what he caught it. Dude, he was so happy. So then I took the picture that he snapped of it, and I ran it through like ChatGPT or whatever. Made it like he made it his like Facebook profile. Like immediately, he's like, "Dude, that's badass. That's badass, dude." Good stuff.
So not only did he catch an 18, but he caught it on BFS.
He caught it on bait finesse, and
that's
I was like,
freaking awesome.
I was like, and then so what was interesting is that I had. I managed to catch one that day, this little snot rocket, probably like an 11 inch chain pickerel. And I caught it on what I caught the fish I caught today on, which was an HH Customs jig, PWR XT. And these are like a finesse jig, real compact profile, but big stout hook. You know what I mean? Like the big heavy wire hook. And they're like I think it's a 3/8 ounce jig. Nice little finesse haircut on it. And I was throwing it with a curly tail grub as a trailer. So I could kind of like bounce it and have that tail have some type of action. And I was fishing this real shallow area with all these root balls and shit. And then I saw something in the water, and I'm like, Is that a fish like tailing my jig? And I twitch it one more time, pops right over. And I was like, all right, cool. We'll go ahead and we'll set the hook. We'll see what happens. And it was a tiny snot rocket. I was like, hey, no skunk. Fantastic. So we fished until about, whatever time we had to get off the water. Got off the water. All was well. And then it was actually the next day is when the tournament kicked off. And immediately some names were throwing in some fish immediately. Your teammate, Mike, Brody, he's got you guys on the board.
Binya and the kid is holding it down right now for me.
Sean the Fisherman and Nelson 15 Beers DaCosta are also in this sucker. They are Team Beaver and have been doing very, very well. We've got it's very cool. And I got to tell you, big shout out and thank you to everybody who has entered. And we're going to go through the whole leaderboard and talk about anglers and the teams and everything and all that in a bit. But it is absolutely crazy. So Thursday, I did some scouting and tried to figure out what the hell I was going to do. The river is really, really flooded now because we had a lot of rain come through, and parking lots and launches are just super sketch. I was going to fish one spot today, went down there. Turns out they don't even open the gate until like a week from tomorrow. So I'm like, all right, fine. We'll freaking do whatever. We'll move on. And I made the call today, and I fished with Wild Bill and from Hooks at Hoodlums, and we hit up a spot, the original Congamon Senior, if you will. And I don't really know that body of water very well, but I did something this time that I don't typically do. Was I sat down and I actually went through the CMAP app on my phone, and I looked for some structure that looked like it was something that I should pay attention to. And I marked all these waypoints with like numbers so I could hit them in sequence. Go here first, then here, and here to make the most efficient time. I got a little bit of info, and I was like, okay, we'll play around. So we checked all of our spots, got pretty much nothing. like at the vast majority of these spots, but there was this one bank that just looked juicy. And I was like, it's got a real good drop off on it. We'll see what happens. We got there and there was actually some timber and some rocks as well that were submerged. And there was like 1 or 2 docks that were actually already out over here. And that's one of the things over in this body of water. I fish a lot of docks when I'm there, but it's so early in the season right now that they're just not there. And we're like, all right, so if there's a dock, I'm definitely going to cover them real well, because if they're relating to them, then there's only so much real estate. We'll go ahead and see what happens. And I pitched this one jig. It was the same jig with a slightly different color to compensate for the water. And I hooked into a 17.5. So Team Big Jig Energy is on the board, you know? We're here. We made it happen. It's good. So yeah, man, it's good. Then I got home from that. I just recorded with Kong from Tornado Innovation, and Tornado Innovation has a line of products that make them stand apart from a lot of other, we'll say, wire bait makers. They have the one thing specifically that is getting a lot of buzz is this clear umbrella rig that they use. It's like their flagship product, and it is crazy. We have a great conversation. Like it's a lot of fun. It's really good. I would expect to see more from the Tornado Innovations for sure, and that's coming up in next week's episode. But man, absolutely unbelievable. So, Binya, what was your week like this week?
Well, so I had this idea that I needed to get out fishing, so I decided to drive to Massachusetts to hang out with my friend Bobby.
You got to.
And experienced winter on water instead of winter at home. Mm-hmm. It was good though, because I felt like Bobby said, there's always that like shake the rust off, practice like getting your cast, back down and all that. Through a bunch of baits, I actually literally pretty much started the day out with Dark Horse and AVF baits, pretty much everything I threw. And I will say, and I forget that swim jig with the spinnerbait blade. What's that called? Swim jig with the spinnerbait blade?
Like an underspin?
Yeah, it's like the underspin one, Joe, for Megabass.
Uozi.
That thing is going to be sneaky.
I sold, dude, we're sold out of them now, I think.
That thing has this and granted, we were fishing in pretty heavy current, but that thing has a cool little hunting action to it when it comes through the water that on my home lakes, because I fish swim jigs a lot. That's going to give me that little different look. Those things are sneaky.
Yeah, they're cool.
Mostly that's what and that's the thing that all my coworkers, I work for a credit union. So there's not a lot of fishy people.
Yeah.
So they're like, why are you going fishing? It's going to snow. And I'm like, you don't understand. I want to see what all these things look like in the water. So my trip was really not expecting to catch fish. That really wasn't my anticipation. It was really just, let's see what all this stuff looks like. Let's see what the trailers look like and start getting stuff dialed in, because this weekend, I'm fishing. I'm not going to lie. It has been tough as a tournament director sitting here watching fish come in.
Yeah.
And not being able to do anything about it until this weekend.
And it's when your teammate Brody has put in some work. I think we'll go over the details and everything, but you guys are doing all right. You know what I mean? Better.
If you guys want to meet a dedicated young angler, Brody sends me a text message. Tournament started on Wednesday. Brody sends me a message Wednesday afternoon going, hey, my dad's taking me out at midnight so I can get a jump on the tournament. He went out at midnight. He went out at tournament start to go see if he could get some fish.
That's hardcore, dude. And he had school in the morning, guy.
Hey, yeah, you know what we do, Bobby? Here's how we get Binya and the kid out of the tournament immediately. We call DCF.
Oh my God! Oh, wow!
This kid was so tired at school the next day because he was out fishing because his partner made him.
That's amazing. Dude.
I literally sent that text to Bobby. I was like, wow. And I'm not gonna lie. The parent in me, the first question I asked was, does your mom know you're going fishing at midnight? Are you breaking out of the house to go fishing at midnight? Or is there adults that are aware of this? Because let's just make sure you're being safe. But yeah, he literally went out. He didn't end up getting anything, but he got fish the next day. I mean, he has held down all the fish on our current board.
Yeah.
So.
Binya,
it's early. It's only 3 days in.
Binya's going to meet up. They're going to be like, hey, let's meet up at the lake. And
go ahead. I think I know what you're going to say.
To Brody. And he's going to offload his fucking kayak and like behind the bushes, fucking Chris Hansen walks.
Yeah. Dude, I knew you were going to say that.
Hey, Mike Binya, why don't you have a seat? Why don't you have a seat?
God damn it. That's amazing, dude.
Oh, trust me. That's the literally when I had him on my podcast, that was the very first thing I did is text his mom and be like, hey, is it okay?
Yeah.
Here's my name. Here I am. Like, but yeah, no, Brody is somebody that we've done some stats too. And you guys are going to see this kind of in the future, but Brody is literally like,
Kid's a hammer.
The records that we're keeping track of, Brody holds 3 of them.
Yeah, which is bananas.
I grew up with Brody's mom. She's a great person. Love her. Jenny's awesome.
She is the best, and like she's doing a great job raising a great kid because like he's got his head screwed on straight. You know.
Yep.
For now,
most of my fishy stuff has been living through Brody sending me because he of course too is he's sending me a picture before he submits it, so I'm getting it like he's like, hey, look what I just caught, and I'm like, dude, I'm sitting here like. Taking calls, getting through a work day, sitting here going, oh, it's almost Saturday. It's almost Saturday. I can fish. And then, ding, here's another fish. So pretty much my entire week has just been watching other people fish digitally.
It's a challenge. It seriously is a challenge.
Poor Bobby's been getting the brunt of it too, because I've been like, dude, I just want to fish.
I just want to open
I'm
water,
like an addict over here trying to get my fix,
It's the problem is real, and that's the thing. Like I know that the Jigs and Bigs audience there are members of this group that can 100% relate. They're like, it's like FOMO, fishing FOMO. You're like you're gonna miss out on what's going on because it's like shit, like work and fucking ice prevents you from doing it. It's kind of crazy. Now, Joe, you had a very interesting week. Maybe not even so much a week as like a very interesting like last 12 hours.
Yeah. So let's talk about it here. Hold on.
Social.
All right. So fishy shit started yesterday.
Love it.
Took yesterday off, took today off. Yesterday, went to my buddy Dan Griffin's house. He's a saint. Helped me put on. I went and I bought that live foot. So I was running the right height turret for my live scope. So for those of you who don't know, that allows me to have it independent from my trolling motor. So it turns independent. So it's not attached to my trolling motor. So I can still spot lock and independently guide my forward facing sonar. So the one I had, great. I don't want to knock the brand, but
sure.
Great for beginners trying to figure it out, trying to see if they like this. But it just wasn't holding up the way I would like it to. So I decided to upgrade. I went with the DD26 live foot. Phenomenal. I only went out today, but so far phenomenal product. Dan helped me put it on. And by him helping me put it on, I sat in the boat and watched him do it because I'm mechanically retarded. So we did that. Put that on, took us a couple hours. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go out tomorrow. No matter what, I'm going to go out tomorrow. Slept in because my daughter didn't have school. Wanted to go out when it got a little warmer because we all know it was a little chilly this morning.
Yeah, it was.
So bring the boat. I go to I'll just tell you, I go to Singletary Lake. Brought Draco with me. Drake, nice. It's his first time in the water this year too.
Literally.
So oh yeah. so I bring Draco with me, right? So I bring the boat down, splash it or whatever, and do that. The docks aren't in yet. So you know how they have like a lot of the docks will be attached to like a concrete pad.
Yep.
So that's how it is here. But without the dock, the concrete pad is high as hell. So it was like a good 3-foot drop down to my boat where I put it.
Oh, no.
So I put the anchors down, the power poles down. I hop on the boat. Draco's following me, and he's like, "Ooh, that's a far drop." So he does it. He jumps down. His back legs hit the side of the boat. He starts to fall in. So I just grab his collar in time and rip him in. So I was like, oh gosh. I was like, well, this is how today's going to go. So, so his whole ass end was wet. But, so I go fishing and, dude, it was a grind. It was a grind. I started deep, kind of worked my way shallow.
Yep.
Or more shallow, I should say, not shallow. But, and I noticed like on the forward facing sonar, every bit of action I got was like in deep water.
Oh, really? And
I could see them like moving towards my baits, but I just could not get anything to commit. Like, I mean, I was doing, I was trying Neds, skirted Neds, drop shots. There was nothing. I figured, but the temperature was 43, so they're still hugged. They're still hugged to the bottom. And what I noticed was the drop shot. I ran a couple different drop shot baits. I ran the new Fish or Die Anomaly. Okay. I had that. I tried I think a flatworm I put on there. I tried a 6 cents juggle minnow on there. Yep. And they were like coming up to it and just kind of like turning it. Like it was like a very slow, like coming up to it. Like, no, I'm good. And I mean, I was dead sticking this fucking thing. Yeah. I was not moving it and anything like that. I was just dead sticking it, dragging it 10 to 12 inches and then just letting it sit, dead sticking it. And it was windy as hell, by the way. It was windy as hell. So nothing. And I'm like, fuck. So I moved back down to a hump. So I decided so the wind was going, it was a northern wind. Mm-hmm. So I decided to hit the southern side of a hump. Yep. Okay. So that's probably where it was the warmest because of that, whatever. And, this is at the end of the day. So I'm seeing something move. So I ended up doing a skirted jig and I used a, shit, what I have on there's a trailer. Oh, not a skirted jig. I'm sorry. A skirted Ned bait. Oh, okay. And I had a Fish or Die. Shit. What I took the Patriot off, and I ended up sharpshooter. I put on a sharpshooter.
All right. Yep.
And to kind of like just condense that profile a little bit. Finally, I feel a bite. I'm like, okay. And I fucking set this thing. I must have ripped. I can't believe I didn't rip its fucking face off. And it was about 11-inch fucking smallmouth down in 30 feet of water. 30 feet of water. I grabbed this thing out of. Yeah. So,
were you marking them like belly on the bottom? Like really?
Dude, they were so far on the bottom. I'm surprised they weren't burrowing under the bottom.
Okay. Yeah.
Like they were just belly on the bottom, dude.
Every mark I saw today was like that. Like every mark, it was just like right over the bottom.
Oh yeah.
And I had this conversation because this has to do with, I think what was interesting. I'm curious with that drop shot you were throwing, and you said you were watching him come up and like nose it and just not committing and turning away slow.
Yep.
Were you using scent?
No.
So this, I when I had this interview with Kong, this came up, and he was like, he goes like, there's some baits that you don't have to worry about it with, like moving baits, because it's reaction bites. It's like they're chasing. They're already kind of more committed, but like when it's a presentation like a jig or something, or a Ned or a drop shot, where you're just letting it sit and they have more time to like connect with it. Yeah. It's like sometimes that scent can make a difference, and I'm like, you motherfucker, I never even considered that.
Why I didn't, because I had thump gel in there. Why I didn't use it, I don't know. It's crazy because like this is like the worst time for me to fish because I have too much like ADHD to fish as slow as you need to in the fucking 44, 43 degree water.
Yeah.
I just get so fucking bored, dude. So finally, I really, really slowed it down. And then I ended up hooking into that one. And if I had more time, I'm confident that I would have had the opportunity to catch some more.
Yep.
But yeah, I just didn't happen. But let's get into it. Let's get into the fun stuff. So we call saddle up, everybody. So I call it quits. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go home. I'll be able to like chill a little bit before record the podcast or whatever.
Yep.
And so I roll back up. To that spot. I put down the power poles. I hop up. I tell Draco, just so my dog Draco, German Shepherd, he's very well trained. I tell him to stay on the boat. He does, no problem. I go into the porta-john that's there. I take a piss real quick because I had to pee. I come out and I look over. Draco hit the button on the power poles.
Oh my fucking God. Are you serious?
What? Really?
Draco hit the button on the power poles, dude. He's just laying there. Just whatever. Floating away.
Oh my God, dude, that's insane.
And he's so like
that dog how to use a trolling motor.
And he's so like chill. He's so like chill on the boat, dude. He just thought it was like normal thing. He's just like looking at me. He's like, I wonder why he's waiting. And I mean, it went by the time I got back to that, he was like 30 yards away.
Yeah.
And
Jesus Christ.
So I'm like, I'm not panicking by any means. Am I not panicking? But I'm like, I can't jump into this water. It's fucking 40 degrees, like 40 degrees. Like
instant hypothermia.
I will go hypothermic before like
you'll never make it to the boat. Yeah.
So, and here's the worst part, guys. There's about 10 fucking trout fishermen standing there watching this all go down.
Son of a bitch, dude.
Son of a bitch. I can't show my face there forever.
I feel so bad for you.
Dude, so what do I do? So I'm like,
how did you get it back?
We're going to talk about that.
Oh, God.
So now I'm at the point where I'm like, there's no other boats.
Yeah.
So here's the crazy part is I had my meta glasses on, so that's going to come into play.
Okay.
So
tractor beam.
I go right as I was getting off, a dude who was launching with his buddy was like, hey dude, like, how's that boat? Like, I really want, like, I'm really interested. He's like, do you mind if like I take your number and we maybe can link up and I could try to like check it out and fish? I was like, absolutely, dude. I was like, call my phone. So he calls my phone, whatever.
Yep.
And I was like, so as I'm there, I'm watching him float away. I go, oh my God. I'm like, that dude just called me and they're out on the boat. They'll come help me out.
Yeah. Oh my God. What a fucking
phones on the boat.
Oh.
So then I'm like, oh, my Meta glasses. I go, hey, Meta, call the last number I just missed a call from. Bluetooth is too far away.
Fuck. Yeah, Bluetooth is only good for so far.
So now I'm watching the wind. To see the boat, where the boat's going to end up. And I ended up having to wait about 40 minutes for it to hit a shoreline. Like, Bobby, you're familiar with Singletary.
Oh, yeah.
So he was going straight, and then the wind ended up putting him, if you're looking out from the boat ramp, ended up putting him left. So I had to go through all those woods to try to get there. So, dude, it's 40 minutes. Wild. 40 minutes. He's floating there by himself, just snoozing. Just hanging out on the boat, snoozing. And
oh my God, dude, I can't even imagine that. Dude. And
when I was talking about the thumbnail, dude, I have a great shot of him out on the boat by himself, just sitting there, fucking sitting on the boat, chilling.
That's awesome.
Dude, so fucking 45 minutes, dude. He's just on the boat by himself, chilling. And finally, fucking after 45 minutes, he gets close enough to where and then the boat stops. Like, the boat just stops. And he's still probably like 15, 20 feet out. So I ended up having to walk in the water to go grab the fucking boat, like up to my waist.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude. So I get the boat and embarrassed as shit.
Yep. Yeah.
Get him on. I was like, dude, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like, and he's just like, oh, where you been? Like, where'd you go? And then like, it's funny because once he started to he gets like to shore, dude. This is like thick ass woods. I'm trying to trudge through to the fucking shore.
Oh yeah.
And like, I see him, his ears perk up. He's like, what the fuck is that in the woods?
What are you doing there?
And I like come through the woods. He's like, oh, hey, what's up? He's like all happy. I was like, you motherfucker, dude.
Oh, man.
That's fucking great.
So I trudge over. I get on the boat. And he's like, oh, hey. He's like licking me like, hey, what's up?
I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, where you been? So I go and I power pull back down and I go, you get your ass off the boat.
Yes.
So I make him get off. I load it up. Everyone's looking at me all funny because I'm dripping wet from the waist down.
Oh, yeah. And probably freezing, dude. That must have sucked.
Fucking freezing.
Yep.
Load up the boat. Here's the best part. As he's floating away, like it was like, dude, a bunch of trout fishermen, a bunch of like families came to and I'm leaning up against those metal railings that are right there, Bobby.
Yep. Oh no.
And I hear like a family with their kids like, oh, I wonder what's going on with that boat. Like why is that dog like by himself? And I'm like,
shut the fuck up.
That's my boat. Just waiting for it to get to that shoreline over there. And the good part, Draco doesn't like the water.
No.
So I knew he wasn't going to jump in.
No. Mm-mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I knew he wasn't. So we were good there. And so I load up the boat, dude. And I'm like, and I call Beg. I tell her this story. She's fucking laughing. And I'm texting Bobby and Bill. And so I was like, boy, do I have a story for you guys.
Oh yeah.
So I'm driving home. The story's not over, guys. This is not over.
This is the twist.
Here's the fucking M. Night Shyamalan ending right here. So I'm driving, all happy that I got my boat back. Draco's in the back, all chilling, laying down. And I'm driving, and I look ahead of me, and two cars ahead of me decides to slam on their brakes to let somebody who they thought was going to cross.
Brilliant.
So the car in front of me slams on their brakes. Two little cars. Instant stop. Guess what doesn't instantly stop?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A Ram 2500 with a big ass 22-foot bass boat in the back. So I absolutely folded that Civic in half with my truck.
Everybody's okay.
Huh?
Everybody's okay.
Everyone's good.
Okay.
I am 41 years old. That was my first accident I've ever been in.
That was your first? Oh my God.
My first accident. It just fucking sucks because no matter what, it's going to be my fault. But I just could, dude. It was one of those things where I put both feet on the brakes and like stood up on them, and there was just nothing happening.
Yeah.
And, for you jig heads, I'll show you the photo of the car.
I'm going to put you a big screen so you jig heads can see.
Yep. And the hot cop too. I'll put her on there. Yep. So there's the car. Blew out all of her windows.
Wow. I was gonna say what's left of the car at that.
Yeah.
Point, yeah.
So I'll show you my truck. My truck doesn't look bad at all. Like literally, that's her car, and that's all I got on my truck.
Yeah.
But here's the issue. My truck's driving all fucked up and it's leaking something.
That's rough.
Yep.
That's real rough.
So I get out. So this happens. I get out. Draco's like, oh shit, what happened? I was snoozing from my little expedition earlier. Dude, I felt so fucking bad. I'm like, I just ran over.
Fucking says rammed it.
Too soon, Todd. Too soon. Dude, I'm still like beating myself up about because like here's where it sucks, dude. Here's where it sucks. I wasn't on my phone. I was legit paying attention. Like, you know what I mean?
That's
like
exactly.
I'm just
you were
driving,
doing everything right.
Music,
yeah,
and I just couldn't get it to stop, dude. Like, it just. So and anyway,
it's so tough, man, because like when you are towing and you've got that additional weight, like. Yeah. It's so tough. Like somebody makes the dumbest little move and you're like, you have to just, it is rough. And for your first accident, that's a rough one, dude. That's brutal. And so I should just chime in. Like, so I mentioned earlier, I recorded this interview. I'm getting text messages as I'm in the middle of the interview and I'm just like, what the fuck should we do the show tonight? I don't know. So I texted Joe and I was like, hey, let's just, we'll do this Saturday or Sunday or something. Like you handle whatever you got to do. I immediately text Mike and I was like, dude, we're going to push this back a little bit. Don't worry about it. And I was, keep in mind, like I've got a million things going on. So we're Frankensteining this episode in a major way, but that's what's nice about technology. Joe's like,
nah, I'm fine. It's good. It's fine.
So I'm like, game on.
I wanted to kiss because I was all bummed out and like mad at myself. So I was like, nope, I just want to do I don't want to sulk. I want to do the podcast.
Yeah. And, no, that's fair.
So I hit this lady. She was an absolute saint. Because the first thing you think of is like they're gonna be pissed at you. And she knew. She slammed on the brakes when that lady and I was like, I'm so sorry. I just could not stop in time.
Yeah.
And it was her fiance's car, by the way.
Oh.
So she's like, I just got to call him. So he comes and he's immediately pissed. So I'm like, oh, here we go. I was like, great. I just got into an accident. My dog stole my boat and now I'm going to have to fight this guy.
Yeah. That's not. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that at the scene of a crime.
That would have been the trifecta, dude. So thankfully, like after he got off of being pit, he actually ended up being a super nice guy. We were chatting.
Listens to the show.
I was like, dude, I said a million times, like, dude, I'm so sorry. He's like, hey, he's like, this shit fucking happens. He's like, everyone's okay. That's what matters. I ended up because apparently my plate was expired on my boat that I didn't realize.
It happens.
I guess I didn't renew it. I thought I renewed everything. So then the cop's like, ooh, before you leave, you're going to have to like go on and renew it. I was like, listen, a kid I fish with, remember the Wednesday night things I was doing, Bobby?
Oh yeah. Yep.
A kid who fishes. this happened right in front of his house.
No.
So, and he comes out, he's like, dude, just I was like, I wasn't comfortable fucking pulling the boat anymore because the fucking steering's all fucked up.
Yeah.
And, he goes, dude, put your boat here. So I just backed it in there real quick. So my boat's there. I'm good. I'm a little sore now. My neck's a little sore. She was good. Like I said, her name was Candy. She was phenomenal. Your expectations when you go up to the window, they're going to be pissed. And she wasn't. I was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, are you okay? So yeah, we were there for a while. They had to tow the car. Obviously that thing wasn't going anywhere. And, so I'm bummed. The truck's a little fucked up. A lot of shit's bent up. And, no, she was actually like the nicest older lady, dude. So I started my claim. Thank God. Oh, here's the best part. I have USAA for my home and auto insurance.
Yep.
I just did a house claim a few weeks ago because while we were in Tennessee, that windstorm fucked up our roof.
Yeah.
So now I got 2 claims going. They're going to drop me like a bad habit, dude. And I've had that forever. So, so USAA, please don't drop me.
Getting to work out,
Yeah, so... And I called Meg and all. She's like, do you need me to come get you? I'm like, no, I'm good. Yeah. But now that the adrenaline's up, I just realized I've been popping these tops off and their twists. But anyway, so I'm a little sore now. I got a little bit of a headache. Neck's a little sore. Draco's good. He, went out on a little expedition himself.
Quite the adventure.
And that was my fucking nightmarish day for me today.
Yeah, that is
didn't catch shit for fish. Brutal. Lost my boat to my dog, and then absolutely crumpled a Civic because I couldn't get the truck stopped in time.
That's a brutal, dude. I can't even. I don't even know how to react. You know, that's crazy.
Me neither, dude.
Yeah,
Me neither.
I believe it. Jesus Christ.
Dude, this all happened within an hour.
That's the insanity right there. You know?
Oh,
it's crazy.
Man.
When it rains, it pours, man. Ian chimes in. He says, when it rains, it pours, man. Talk about a shit day. Shake my head. Glad everyone's safe. But God damn it, don't ever put that dog on the boat again. And I think we need, is there...
Ian, here's the crazy part. I bring him almost every fucking time I go fishing, and that has never happened.
That's wild that he would friggin' release the power poles we're out. Peace.
Here's the crazy part, Bobby, and you've seen the way it works. So you hit it once, and it just kind of a little bit, and if you double tap them, they go all the way up. So he somehow double tapped them, so they were all the way up, dude.
Do you think there's a dog trainer that specializes in training dogs on driving boats, specifically German Shepherds? Because that's a market.
Yeah, and but it's good that he double tapped it and put them all the way up, because if he didn't, it probably would have got hung up out.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Somewhere out there would have gotten hung up. And
so there's a little bit of a silver lining to that.
Man, that's wild, dude.
But no silver lining to the accident. Unless my frame's bent and I get a new truck. That'll be kind of cool. But
that would, I don't think that'll be the case, though, because I don't think you hit anything with enough weight to do that.
Dude, my God.
I didn't realize you had shit leaking. That's crazy. What a pain in the balls.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's the problem is with me is I have that, I was driving it, dude, and my suspension sounded all fucked up. My wheel was like this driving straight, so we'll see. But I do pay extra to make sure I get I get a rental for 60 days, and it's the equivalent of what I have now. So I'll be able to get a truck. And
there you go. So you'll be able to move the boat and do whatever and all that shit. That's good, man.
Is that truck you ordered still on the lot?
That's a good fucking point, man.
I might have to check, dude. I might have to check.
Good Lord, dude.
It's funny. The whole time you were telling that story, Joe, and you were the people were saying what's up with that dog? I totally would have been what are you doing? Bring it back. I would have been I'm teaching him how to do that. I'm teaching him the trolling motor. This kid's not listening.
Dude, it was just I have video from my meta glasses of it, screenshots, dude. It's gonna be the sickest TikTok, dude. And it's just fun. He's just sitting there he loves being being on the boat is his favorite thing. When I hooked it up today, there was no way I wasn't bringing him. He knew what was going on. I
almost brought Eleanor today, but it was just too cold when we started. I was I think I'm going to bring her tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm planning on sending it, but
I was going to go out fishing tomorrow, but probably not. But not now.
If you're feeling up to it, I've got room.
All right,
I can come pick you up. Yeah, let me know. Because it's it's very possible I'm going to end out your way.
Okay,
and
let me know.
Yeah. Oh,
this was a funny story too, because I'm sitting here on the couch getting ready to come up the podcast, and I get Joe got into a wreck with the boat, going to reschedule the show. 1 minute later, forget that. Apparently he's good. Live at 7. So that's how dedicated these guys are. Is within a minute and a half, I got.
What am I doing?
Boat was wrecked. Joe's good. See you at 7. I was okay.
Oh my goodness, dudes. That is just. I am seriously glad you are okay. I'm glad nobody got hurt. That's good. Yeah. But man, it is crazy, dude. It is bananas.
I half expected it to be a boat accident when I first heard it. I was oh, did he hit something on the water? Hit a log or something?
Dude, that almost probably would have been better,
dude.
Yeah,
I got to tell you guys, when Bill and I got off the water today. All right. Mm-hmm. We get off the water, and this has happened a couple of times. Mike's been with me before when it's happened. We're we'll be out a number of hours, and my trolling motor will just start to make a squealing sound as it goes. Today it was doing weird shit. It was starting and stopping on its own. And like, just, it was weird. So I was like, I don't know what's going on. And so I pull it up and I'm looking at it and I'm like, I can see like, you know, like maybe some weeds around the shaft there. And I'm like, I don't have any tools with me right now to be able to clean this. And I have no other way to like stay put, you know, other than I do have an anchor. I could have dropped that. I probably should have. I was like, but I didn't have the tools to be able to take it apart. And if I lost any parts, I'd be fucked. It'd be the end of the day. So I'm like, I want to do this in the parking lot. So we fished the rest of the day. It's giving me some problems. I go over there. My hands are covered in grease, dude. I took apart the whole head of the trolling motor. I pulled the prop off and it had actually some braid that was wrapped around it pretty good. So I cut all that stuff free and then I put the prop back on and gave it a spin and it was a little bit off. You know, it wasn't where it should have been. And I could still hear like the tapping sound coming from inside the head. So I actually took all of it apart. And I don't know what the fuck it's supposed to look like in there, but that's where like the coil and the magnet and everything else is. And all that looked good. It just looked a little dirty, but like, I don't know if I should put any kind of grease in there or anything. Good news is I'm going to see Matt over at Hanks Marine next week. I think I'm going to pop over there. There's some maintenance I got to get done.
He drove by my accident, by the way.
Shut the fuck up. No, he did not. Oh my God. Was he laying on the horn and shit?
No, he stopped. He's like, dude, you okay? He's like, all right, call me. Like, so I'm going to have him, once everything's good, I'm going to bring the boat to him and have him
check it out. Good idea. Good, man. Oh, dude. Yeah, it was just, so I'm going to go up there and just kind of figure this out. I am going to fish with it tomorrow just because I want to know if it's like, if it's okay or what's going on or if that little tangle of debris around the shaft was what was really giving it that much of a problem, but we'll figure it out. We'll see how it goes, but man, it was wild. We have, you know, it's an odd pivot to make, but it is a pivot that needs to be done. But we haven't heard these in a long time.
I was going to say, I know that song.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this down. We're not going to go all the way through. Sean used to like it when I played it constantly all the way through, but we're just going to kind of a little homage because I got to tell you, Mike, amazing job with the tournament series. Like absolutely amazing job putting that tournament series together. We have a huge turnout this first month out.
Yep.
Good job. People love this shit. They absolutely want to do it. And it's, oh my God, but that is the best picture, Joe. I kind of
I'll send it to you too, Binya.
I kind of have to make it the fucking cover artwork. I'm gonna put Joe in. Holy shit. I'm gonna make I know exactly what I can do with this. This will work out perfectly. Oh my God. Where was I? Let's go get back on schedule. So yeah, this is the first of our monthly teams online tournament team series, and yeah, that's what I'm trying to say here. And the turnout has just been ridiculous, like absolutely ridiculous. We're at what 31 teams? No, not 31. 16 teams.
16 teams with officially 30 anglers. We did have one little mishap where we had an angler sign up twice. But yeah, we have 30 total anglers.
We have it says insane. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Saying. But this is
in particular, Jighead in the chat is actually technically signed up twice. But we corrected that before the tournament started.
Nice. No, this is awesome. And we're going to go ahead and talk about the teams. We'll go through the team roster and then explain who's on what team. So we have 16 total teams right now. Some of these teams are registered. They only have one angler on there. And that's the nice thing about this. You have an opportunity to not, have to worry about not having a teammate. You could play this solo if you want, which is kind of nice for the flexibility. So we have Sam Squanch, excuse me. That's Sam Sanchez and Taylor Courier. We've got Binya and the Kid. We know that's Mike and Brody Davis. We've got Geronimo, which is Jason Stevens and Philip Wade. Let's see what we got. Sticky Rice is the next team. We've got Ken and Tom Lai.
Which is one of the best names, I'm not going to lie, just because
I love the sticky rice.
Sticky rice is pretty damn good. Dynamic duo is with us. That's Brad Bergeron and Brian Martin. Let's see what we got. Team Beaver. There's a couple of names that old school jig heads are going to remember. We've got Sean Dominic and Nelson DaCosta. Yeah, Sean the Fisherman is in this tournament, so be ready. And I think he's the current lunker holder, of course, which just it tracks. Pennsyltuckians. That's Zach Fullard and Ryan Van Tyne. Last minute entry with Zach and Ryan. That's pretty awesome. I'm excited to see what they end up doing this month as far as damage. We got Real Problem. That is Ryan Stager and Todd Brothers. Those are also OG tournament anglers. I believe they've both been involved in either the slot series early on or the original multi-species scavenger hunt, the monthly version.
I know Ryan had some entries in the scavenger hunt, I believe, when I was looking through the stats.
Ryan, I think it was Ryan, just caught a beaut of a brown trout this week, by the way. And he was like, I want to say it was like a 24 or 25 inch. It was big. It was real big. Good looking fish. And we got, this is one of my favorite team names. Philip Maxwell, Auto Body and Sales. That's John DeCenzo and Toby Bonoyer. Let's see, who else do we got here for teams? Cobra Kai is Sean McGivelry and Chris Stempick. Let's see. I got to toggle back and forth here. Here's one made of a couple of jig heads. Klondike Swamp Yankees, Matt Thayer and Patrick Martin. We got Hookset. That is Wild Bill Fishing and Andrew Tomer. And what's interesting about the two of them is they're also competing with each other. Like they're working toward the commonality of one big 5-fish bag, but they are absolutely in competition with like, oh, I did better than you or whatever. Those guys are nuts. We got Jerry House. He is under the team House playing solo, and that's not going to be a handicap for him at all. Trust me, Jerry House is an absolute stick. We got a team in here called Big Jig Energy with the one and only Bobby Roast Beef and Who the Fuck is Joe Brown representing Jigs and Bigs. And we're going hard. We kind of already started talking a little bit of shit, which is not a good idea. And I think what we're going to end up doing is just kind of doing the best we can. But one thing we are doing is we're leaning in and we're trying to build a fandom. So we will have on jigsandbigs.com Big Jig Energy merch. We also have a theme song and all kinds of good stuff. So, and I'm not kidding. You guys will be able to get Big Jig Energy stickers and hats and shirts if you want to represent. You can go ahead and do that. We've got, who else is in here? Feel Good Drag. Who is this? Oh, that's Matthew Proul. And who else? Bassin Bros. That is Ryan Bebalt, Ryan and Andre Bebalt. Nice job. This is an amazing turnout, man. And currently, Mike, you want to go over the leaderboard right now, what it looks like?
Yeah, and I do want to say I am humbled by how many people signed up because I thought we were going to get a few people. But I do want to thank everyone who it's a new tournament. I know a lot of people weren't really sure how it was going to work, but also the conditions. Mm-hmm. I was sure that like people were going to be like, yeah, I'm not going to bother because I don't know if I'm going to be able to fish. Because I was talking to Bobby last week and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to fish the first week. I'm going to have to come down to Massachusetts or monthlies travel to find open water.
Yeah, monthlies can be a challenge like that. I'm going to miss an entire week, of this, and like shit happens. I mean, it's like. But
we literally had people sign up today, right up until.
And they have until Easter Sunday, like the end of business Easter Sunday. Like you guys can jump on. So if you want everybody who is listening to this show when it gets dropped, it's already been going to be done and gone. But if you go to jigsandbigs.com, you can jump in now for May and June and all that stuff's available for you to check out.
And these are running every month. And I actually did make all registrations run into the first week.
Yep.
So that way, if you guys decide, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, it just gives people a chance. It also gives people with their teammates to sign up in time. As far as standings go, I've been playing around. I'm kind of new to judging fish on the app. Yep. So I'm sure people are probably confused because I work remote now. So I have some free time. So I actually literally have been judging fish as they come in, almost real time. That's not always going to happen. So be aware that when you guys hear the standings on the podcast, they're going to be unofficial results for the most part.
Really, we should consider them unofficial till the end of the month, you know. But we'll go over them and, you know, obviously make changes. But it is nice because as things come through, you know, Mike's been really on it. So that's pretty damn good. We have a couple of teams that already have 5-fish bags.
Last time I looked, I'm pretty sure the top two or three of the teams. Actually, we'll go through. I'll look right now. Of course, Sean the Fisherman.
Team Beavers,
came out big. He started out the tournament with, I believe it was almost a 20-inch fish.
Yeah.
His first fish was 17 inches. So he started out with the smallest fish being 17. He's been submitting a lot of fish. So we'll go through the standings here. I'm not going to list everybody's fish, but we have 3 teams with 5-fish limits. The top 3 teams all have limits.
That's pretty badass, man. And you're in there. That's great.
And keep in mind, guys, this opened Wednesday at midnight. So we're talking 3 days of fishing.
And we
haven't had a weekend yet.
Yeah, there's a long way to go, you know, with this. Like we still have the entire rest of the month. So it's 5 fish. It's the 5 fish combined, meaning that nobody's got to carry a minimum. It's whatever the 5 fish that are the largest are the ones that stay in there for your stringer. And we've got 7 teams that have put fish in already.
Yep. So we'll go through the might as well just do all 7, just get the totals. I won't always do that in every show. So you guys are aware,
if we get
this
like
kind
30.
of a special edition where I'm coming in to do this one, but as a general rule, I'm probably going to do a quick recording. You'll hear my voice, but I may not always be on the show, but we're going to try to at least talk about who's in the money each week so that you guys know where everybody's at. Because we're going to kind of try to keep everybody informed. And if you're in here doing it, you get to listen and hear where you're at if you haven't checked. So Sean, the fisherman, is currently in first place. And of course, he's going to make it hard for everybody. He's not going to make it easy on everybody. It started out with 97.25 inches.
Yeah.
So right out of the gate, Sean already closing in on a century belt. But not too far behind him is Real Problem with 83.75.
Yeah. It's pretty solid.
Third place, and it's not even Binya and the kid, because in this case, it's just the kid, because Binya hasn't been able to participate yet, at 68.75. You got the hook set team coming in fourth with 29.75. But keep in mind, that's only 2 fish, guys.
Yeah.
So they started out pretty good with a 17. You got Sticky Rice coming in with 21 inches, and that is 1 fish. So they hit it out of the park with their first fish on the board. So they're going to be able to jump right up once they get their full fish limit. You got Philip Maxwell Autobody and Sales came in with a 19-incher. They got their first fish on the board. And a very familiar name, Big Jig Energy, Bobby Roast Beef, threw in his first fish at 17.5.
I didn't.
And my idiot neighbor's driving his Harley.
I didn't tell you guys about this, but when we launched the boat this morning, there was a guy that was also, I think, rigging his boat, and we're talking, and I was like, I said, have there been any tournaments yet on this lake? Is it like, have these fish been getting beaten up at all? And he's like, oh no, not yet. He's like, I think the first one's this coming weekend. And I said, okay, that's fine. Here's what's interesting. That fish I caught had a hole on his lower jaw the length of my thumb. Like when I lipped him, my finger went right through and I was able to hook him like that. And I'm like, holy crap. He also had like a wicked underbite. He could look kind of like a caveman. Crispy fried tater. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was rough. I'm like, this fish has seen some shit. So I don't know, man. It's only 3 days in. Isn't that crazy? It's only 3 days in. And the battle really comes for those teams that already have a 5-fish bag to try to cull, and just get rid of the smaller fish and get whatever leg up they can to make some moves. So it's good stuff. I think, dude, you did a fantastic job. I think the turnout is absolutely amazing, and it's going to be pretty good. I'm stoked. Let's go ahead and do this, guys. Let's pivot. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have just the tip. And we're also going to have we may have an FTG as well. There may be an FTG in there, but after that, you're going to hear my interview with Joe from Gentlemen's Club Jigs. This is one of the most innovative football head jigs I've ever seen. I can't wait for you guys to check this out. And then we'll see you guys for the live well on the backside. Don't go too far. We'll see you.
Ever feel like your brain just won't click? Onnit Alpha Brain is a daily supplement engineered to support memory, focus, and mental speed. Made with science-backed ingredients, Onnit Alpha Brain helps you lock in, tune out distractions, and stay sharp. See what your brain can really do. Visit onnit.com and shop Alpha Brain to unlock your next level. That's ONNIT.com.
I just got up there and I was just like, oh my God, thank you, thank you.
And then I heard, someone, anyone, please help.
So he's like Superman being able to carry me off the mountain.
The award-winning Tell Me What Happened podcast from OnStar is back. New emergencies, new heroes. Find out what happens in season 6 of Tell Me What Happened. Out now.
Kraft Mac and Cheese is better than 90s hip-hop. We'll remind you of your childhood without making you feel incredibly old. Kraft Mac and Cheese. Best thing ever.
And perhaps play a little game called Just the Tip. Just for a second, just to see how it feels. Or, ouch, ouch, you're on my hair.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, guys. I told you that this week's show was going to be 100% Frankenstein like crazy all over the place. It is Easter Sunday now. I'm recording the Just the Tip segment. Why? It's just been crazy. All kinds of shit's been going on, but everything is good. So let's dive in and talk about it. This week, we're talking about when the weather says you should go and fish. Let's talk about it all. Listen, you don't necessarily need more lures. What you need is really better timing. The difference between a grind and a banner day is usually already sitting right there on your phone, on your weather app. You just don't know how to read it yet. So what do you actually look for in a weather app? Well, most anglers, they're just going to check temperature and call it a day. Think about, what happened yesterday? Was it warm? Was it cloudy? Did it get cold at night? And while that's a start, it's also kind of amateur hour. What you really want to look for in a weather app are a couple of specific features. The biggest one, I would say the kind of key to all this is barometric pressure. Falling pressure typically means that fish will be more active. The feed window opens up. Stable pressure, or stable low pressure rather, the bite can definitely stay consistent. Rising pressure, this is what you'll see after a front. That's where things can get kind of tough. Fish will get tight. As far as like the hard and fast rule, fish, if you can, before a storm, not necessarily after, or just be prepared to grind. Now, the next element to look for in your weather app is some type of wind function. This can be either your best friend or your worst enemy. And I'll tell you what, when it's your worst enemy, it's not necessarily about the fishing. Lots of times it's how we deal with it on the water. But as far as the wind goes, helping you as far as catching them, well, wind is going to position bait. Bait then positions bass. Wind creates current and oxygen and also breaks up light. So what you're looking for, like the money window, is between like 5 and 15 miles an hour. And wind that's blowing into banks, along points or grass lines, absolutely going to find some fish over in those areas. Now, the next, I guess, condition to pay attention to is cloud cover and sunlight. In cloudy conditions, fish are a little bit more comfortable. They're freer to roam. They're going to chase more. You'll find them more up shallow. During those clear bluebird skies, fish are going to tuck right near to cover. So you're going to have to fish a little bit closer to stuff. You're going to have to follow, things that we don't think about sometimes, like shadows. Makes a big difference. And then temperature trends. It's more than just a number. A warming trend over the course of a couple of days, like 2 or 3 days, can be absolutely pay dirt. But a sudden cold snap, and that can shut them down for a period of time. Rain is sort of an underrated trigger too. Light rain is awesome because it's like instant stealth mode for you, and it can lead to a better bite. Heavy rain, and then you start to find things like mud lines and current breaks. Your best conditions and bite windows, like the green light sort of day, is the day where you're just going to drop everything and go, is where you've got falling pressure, increasing wind, overcast skies, and you're in the middle of a warming trend. That would be ideal. Your confidence bait days would do really good here. So bladed jigs and spinner baits, these are you're moving stuff. You're where they're going to chase. Lipless will be great. In my case, this is where I would 100% want to make sure that I'm throwing a glide to meet my 2026 goal. Now, those days where it's a little bit like the yellow light sort of window, situation, that's where we're looking at like stable weather with lighter wind, mix of sun and clouds. Here you might want to downsize a little bit or cover water in a smart way, in a more subtle way. So like a swim bait or a swim jig, fishing a Texas rig on the bottom, or, jerk baits do really well, and they do well all around the year, not just necessarily in cold water. And then the days where you're going to grind, and I don't want you to think that when I use the term red light days, this isn't like stay home unless you just have no patience for this, but this is where you're going to have to grind it out a little bit. These are your post-frontal, crystal clear bluebird skies, high pressure spike, cold and calm temps. And here's where you really need to slow it down. And these are your more finesse-oriented presentations. Jigs, Ned rigs, drop shots. You want to fish tight to cover or along deeper transitions because of how those fish have been affected by those post-frontal clear skies and higher pressure that's moving in. Now, how do you fish weather changes? Because it's not like we go out there with a forecast and then, things happen. I mean, we say, it seems like everybody says this, but in New England, we say it all the time. If you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes, because that's just the reality. So where most anglers miss the boat is this section, not paying attention to what's happening while they're out there. So before a storm, we've already established that's going to be like your best window. Your fish are going to feed aggressively. They're going to be, you can cover water fast. You can also target ambush zones. When it comes to after a cold front, fish, they're going to start to get a little negative. That's kind of when they turn their nose up to stuff. They'll be more tight to cover and hitting along the bottom, focused on the bottom. You want to downsize everything in this situation just to kind of, get a bite. When there's a wind shift, and this happens all day long, it repositions fish immediately. You want to recheck points and wind-blown banks and current seams. Now, this is all great information, but what are some of the apps that are out there that will give you the information that you want? And here's a few notes about a few of them that I've gotten familiar with. One of them I use all the time, but one of them is Windy. All right. Windy is probably the best app for wind direction and speed visualization. It shows you how wind hits specific shorelines. And the reason why anglers seem to love it is because you can actually see what bank is getting hammered. And this is an app that if you've got, cell coverage where you are, can be really handy to just kind of check in with once in a while to see what's going on with wind. My radar, this is a real-time radar, and it's super accurate from what a lot of people say in reviews. It's great for tracking incoming fronts, and it's best for timing that fish before the storm window. Now, this one's my favorite one, and I use this quite a bit, is Weather Underground. It's got hyper-local data, and it shows pressure trends really clearly. So you can look at that. I think it's a 7-day forecast, and you can follow the line. It shows you how that pressure is moving. I will say that it is the hidden gem here is that it's like a personal weather station. It's more accurate than the bigger, like, national forecast. It's way more accurate than your native weather app that you use on your phone, be it Android or Apple. And then the other one, and this is kind of like I guess this would sort of be like a mention, or a respectable mention, I suppose, is Bass Forecast. This is one of those apps that is built specifically for anglers. It combines pressure, but also solar, lunar, and trending information as well. Now, this is a tough one because a lot of folks will get into Bass Forecast thinking that it's like a one and done because they grade the days on how good the fishing is for whatever reason. And I have found that data is not something you should live or die for. In fact, I would recommend that you don't use this app blindly, that you use it maybe as a second opinion. Just take it for what it's worth. Now, let's go through some of the highlights here just to kind of recap here a little bit. Fish before weather changes, not after. Wind is good. Remember, the only time wind is really bad is when it's unsafe. Clouds are going to mean moving fish. Sun means fish are going to be tight to cover. Warming trends are actually better than the actual temp. And pressure dropping, drop everything and go now. Look, your weather app is basically a cheat code as long as you know how to read it. Stop guessing, start planning, and you'll spend less time fishing and more time catching. Now, there's a few questions I have for you guys. First off, I want to know, what is your go-to, I don't care what I had planned, I'm going fishing weather sign? Is there something that you, in your past history, that's that one thing that you're going to go for? Are you also a front sended guy, or do you like to grind after the front's passed? And also, what's your most overrated weather condition that anglers talk about? What's the thing that you just kind of think is so far beyond you? And on top of that, I want to know, what's your favorite weather app? What ones are you using? And here's a couple of ways that you guys can reach out to us. If you're listening to us on Spotify, go ahead and leave a comment right there on Spotify. That's awesome. That's one way to do it. You can also get in touch with us on social media. We post stuff all the time, and you can fire us a DM, be it on Facebook or on Instagram, and let us know what your answers there. But another way you can do it also, and even better, is to call the hotline. Call us on the hotline. You can even text us there if you want as well, if it's simpler for you. The number for the hotline, though, is 413-324-8519. Give us a call or a text over there. We'd love to talk about weather in an upcoming Live Well segment and see what we can put together as far as getting a group consensus on what some of the favorite apps are, what some of the specific conditions that just drive us crazy. And we'll go ahead and discuss this a little bit further later. So we are going to come right back, guys. We have a really good interview coming up on deck. We have Joe Ravenna from Gentlemen's Club Jigs, and he's in the beef seat. We'll be back right after this. Don't go too far.
Chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more, can make me feel like a spectator in my own life.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It's the #1 prescribed branded chronic migraine preventive treatment.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
Yeah, I work a full-time job, so I don't get to fish that much. And
I hear you.
Most of my gear is tailored to bass. It's not that I don't want to fish for anything else, but there's just not enough time in the day, not enough days in the week.
Oh, absolutely. And, that's the thing. I find, like, when it comes to bass anglers, there's folks that are like, that's all they're targeting, and then there's folks that are just, there's a little bit of joy in that bycatch. Like, you'll get that random, like, I had a rainbow trout hit a small finesse swim bait the other day, and I'm like, this is fantastic. I'm all about that stuff. So that's always cool. What's your preferred methods? Like, are you more of a power fisherman, more of a finesse fisherman?
So I honestly could drag a jig all day long.
Yeah,
and
nice.
That's what brought me to making it, designing a jig that I wanted. Most football heads are made for rock, but the lakes by us are a ton of grass, so I wanted a football head that I was able to rip out of the grass properly.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And this one, the line tie is a negative 15-degree hook set or offset. So as long as there's any kind of semi-slack in the line, it's going to keep the jig standing up. And it never allows that hook to catch the weeds. You're able to rip it through with that offset.
No kidding.
Much easier than a typical jig. So
that's pretty awesome. That's really something that some folks don't necessarily think about. Like, I know I have this tendency of thinking like a jig is a jig, a plastic's a plastic, like if it's whatever shape. And I mean, maybe that's kind of like quasi-confidence where I'm like, oh, if I'll put a craw on this, it'll be fine. But like to think about that and having like that very specific angle for the line tie, that's pretty, because you're 100% right. Anytime anybody asks me a question like, what am I trying to fish a football head jig around? I'm like, rocks anytime, because it's less likely to get hung up. That's pretty awesome. When did you start making jigs?
About a year and a half ago. I'm about a year and a half in. Yeah.
Nice.
So our local circuit picked up on it. So we made it, my partner and I made it for ourselves. But, you fish against the same guys every weekend there,
They talk.
Everybody's fishing a jig, so we ended up, peddling it to our friends and it took off. So it's as good as we hoped it would be,
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Where, now, the Jigs and Bigs listeners would give me hell if I didn't ask you, where'd the name come from?
All right. So there's two bigger circuits in our area. There's the Fox Chain, which is a shallow river system, and they all call themselves the Chain Rats. Then the lake that I fish is Lake Geneva, and it's 15 foot of visibility, crystal clear, deep water, complete opposite of the Chain. So they started calling us the Geneva Gentlemen.
Oh.
And that kind of led into the Gentleman's Club jig, and it fit. It works, so it stuck.
That's awesome, man. I'm looking actually at your Instagram right now at some of the stuff. These look pretty freaking cool. Let's talk about like some of the different products that you have. Like, are you specializing in that one format, and like what sizes is it available in?
So right now we have a half-ounce jig is the only jig that we have. We are working on growing, so I don't want to announce anything too soon. But we're working on other sizes. So right now it's just a half-ounce.
Is that living rubber on your skirts?
Yes. So except for the brown and purple and the black and blue, those are all living rubber. The other ones I mix rubber and silicone, so it's a half and half. Some of the accents are rubber, some of them are silicone, but I kind of dialed in a mixture of the two to help slow actually the fall rate down on them. So
absolutely, and also like it gives it something different as far as like if there's current, like it just reacts differently. That's awesome, dude. The peanut butter jelly is beautiful.
Yeah, so there's a lot of rubber jigs and there's a lot of silicone jigs.
Definitely,
so there's not many that mix them.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And it's such a unique kind of profile. And the heads on these look really interesting. Like you put some thought into this because I don't know if it's like the right terminology to use it, but it almost looks like the head is textured.
Yeah, there's a traction pad on the bottom. And the ideal behind that is when you're pulling on that line tie, let me hold the jig up. When you're pulling on that line tie and it makes it stand up, the traction pad is going to be dragging on the rocks. It's not, it's specifically putting the texture, trying to add some more sound, some crayfish sound to it. So make it a little easier to count rocks when you're dragging the jig,
And that's the important thing. I'm going to assume that these are lead. You're pouring lead, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Lead in a silicone spin mold, so it pours evenly all the way through. It's not a cast mold where it cools down as you're pouring it.
So it's real consistent. That's great, dude.
Yeah.
Those
that hook it's a decoy hook, a Japanese hook. It literally does not go dull unless you bury it into a piece of wood and actually bend that tip out. It's the sharpest. I try to only use decoy, but they're hard to get around here. So I make my order in the beginning of the year, and hopefully they make it through. Sometimes by the end of the year, I'm buying other hooks, but for other techniques. But
that
decoy
awesome.
hook and that jig is the star.
So these are really well thought out, man, these jigs. I mean, you got the textured head, you've got specific hook, you've got the engineered line tie, they're also, I'm looking, these are all screw lock?
Yeah. So
you're selling me jigs, dude.
On the base, I mean, you're going to get your craws bit off before, I don't know if you could see it, before they're going to rip off.
Yeah, I'm a fan when it comes to screw lock keepers. Like, they're so much more effective, I find. And yeah, even like with my swim jigs, I like using big plastics on there, and that keeps them in place. I'll put swim jigs into some real sketchy areas.
I hate using super glue. I always glue my fingers to something.
It's just, especially like I look at it like this: if you're dealing with a skirt and super glue, you're asking for problems.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not going to be right. That is awesome, man. So how long have you been doing tournaments for?
I started in probably 2019 is when I started.
Oh, all right.
Started at like the club level tournaments.
Yep.
And
so it's been
within a couple of years, I grew out of the 18-foot boat. Needed a little bit bigger. Just don't understand moderation in life, I guess.
That's how it is, man.
Yeah,
100%. And that's actually was going to be my next question. Like, how was what's the rig? Like, what do you set up? What are you running for a rig?
I got a 2020 Z20.
Nice.
Bought it right before COVID. Perfect time before boat prices went right through the roof.
Mm-hmm. You're not kidding.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's great, dude. That's awesome. How's it been as far as like your career, as far as like getting out there? Like, I assume like some folks, they get into tournaments and the reality hits that they're, maybe not as experienced as they were thinking that they were, and it can be a shock to the system. Other folks they thrive on that,
So I mostly fish local. There's the Lake Geneva that we fish on is just a big crystal clear lake, and I put most of my time into that, and I fish a team circuit on there.
Yep.
And then we've done pretty well the last couple of years. We had a couple of years of taking our beatings, donating
Definitely
money every
happens.
week.
Yeah. Sure.
And then I fish another smaller single circuit where there's a co on the back.
All right.
Wisconsin Cast Nation. It's a BASS league. It's awesome club level tournaments. Everyone's cool. It's not for the money. It's definitely cool people to hang out with and fish against.
Definitely. Yeah, it's more at that point. Like, that's the thing. It is community. The whole thing. It's like for some folks, it's just having a date on the calendar. I'm fishing, and I know I'm going to see these people there, and it's like, it's treated the same way as like going to your local pub or getting together with some people to play poker or something like that. It's just, that's how it is, And I definitely think there's more folks out there that need to like have that in mind when they're competing, because it's like, that's at the end of the day, we're just there to catch fish,
Yes, yeah.
That's awesome. Now, you're mainly in the Midwest right now. Have you done any traveling? And if you have, what have been some of your favorite spots? Or even if you haven't, what are some of like the spots that are on your bucket list that you'd love to visit?
So Angler's Choice is the team circuit that I fish, and their championship usually goes somewhere along the TVA every year.
Oh, okay.
And that's nice. Super early, pre-spawn, February, March-ish.
Yep.
We've been down to Chick, Grand Lake, Gunnersville. Gunnersville's probably my favorite place in the world.
Really? Okay.
Oh, yeah. And then we just had one down at Pickwick.
All right. You're going to talk about grass. That's all I hear about Pickwick.
There wasn't one blade of grass there.
Oh, really?
Like zero grass throughout the whole lake. It's all rock.
No kidding. Maybe I'm confusing it with something else, but
Gunnersville's the grass one.
Yeah, Gunnersville is a grass lake. Like, there's like you get mats certain parts of the year and stuff, and I think Mikey Balls fishes Gunnersville a lot.
Yeah. He posts a lot about it. I've seen.
That's nuts, man. That is freaking nuts. What about
the South is my favorite place to be. Those Florida strain largemouth. I have smallmouth around me, so they're not amazing to me. They're great. I don't want to knock them, but 8 and 10 pound largemouth are
it's hard to beat.
Dreams, Yeah.
It is definitely hard to beat. They got the growth season down south, and it is. I say this all the time. Like I was on a boat with a buddy of mine yesterday, and we were talking. He ice fishes. He's in Vermont. He ice fishes. He still has solid water right now. And I'm only one state south. I was like, we're open water, man. Come on, I'm going out Saturday. And I don't ice fish just primarily because I don't want to invest in more gear. You know what I'm saying? I would rather take that money and do a trip and go and travel somewhere and go down south. So that's sort of what I'm doing. Like last year, I didn't go down south at all. Last year, I went to St. Clair, and
that's an amazing place to go.
It really is. It's such a fishy community. It's awesome. And I upped my PB smallmouth there with no giant. I caught most of the tournament stuff I do is catch, photo, release, even from my boat, just because it's easier to do national stuff that way. And so my PB smallmouth is 19 inches, but a 19 from St. Clair is built different than
it's
a 19.
Football.
Yes. This thing went 4 pounds. It was an absolute giant. I was like, oh, this is a big fish. Very, very cool. And I was trying out bait finesse gear up there, a brand new combo I just put together. And I was like, I'm just going to whip this around. We'll see what happens. I did not think I was going to be breaking my PB on that combo. It was a hairy situation, but.
So you guys talk about that bait finesse a lot.
Yep.
I'm kind of baffled by it. Like, I don't understand the throwing tiny things with the bait caster. Like, I feel like things have their place, but I'm afraid I'm going to get stuck having to buy 3, 4, or 5 more setups if I even try it.
I'll be honest with you. Like when I started it was primarily because there are certain techniques with the spinning combo. Like I'm getting close to 50 where if I'm holding the spinning combo all day, and there's certain techniques where I'm just imparting action, especially like with the rod. My carpal tunnel acts up. Just even holding that rod with the spinning reel the way that it is, holding a bait caster and being able to palm the reel is so much more comfortable. And then there's the efficiency side of it too, because with a bait caster, it's just you're able to cast and do so unbelievably accurate. It's not even something you necessarily think of. And when it was developed, the way if I'm understanding it right, was primarily to throw unbelievably light fluorocarbon. So 2 and 4 pound tests, stuff like that. So when you're throwing like the ultra light stuff, but a lot of anglers around here, they would love to use it for just like weightless soft plastics or anything in that 1/16th to an 1/8 ounce or 3/16 ounce, like in that window. Like it's great for that because you can still power fish with it, but it's nice. Like one of the baits that I have a lot of confidence with is this downsized chatterbait. This little, it's a 3/16 ounce. It's a company called HH Customs that I like a lot. And then there's another one, Pig Jigs. I like them for different reasons. They have different hooks. And it's great because if they won't bite a 1/2 ounce, what shock blade, that's my main bladed jig. If they're not going to bite a shock blade, I can downsize to that, and it's a different vibration. It's like more of a hum. First time I ever used any, finesse bladed jigs or anything like that was actually a chick. And I could not believe the difference. I was like, so it's just like a different vibration plus the overall profile. I like to trout fish with it a lot, which is cool because I hate fly. I say I hate fly fishing. That's just something I don't want to bite off right now.
It's an art that you have to work at. You can't just do it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's one of those things where I don't necessarily want to have to invest that much, just yet. But I love it because I'll throw 2-inch swim baits and go and catch big browns, and it's awesome. It's so much fun. And that's the other point of it too, is it's a lot of fun. And now I've got, there's spinning combos that they have a very specific, I'm not going to drop shot with my bait finesse gear. I could, but there's really no reason. I like a lot longer of a rod when I drop shot, super, super fast. Mm-hmm. And, sometimes if I'm fishing real deep, I'm throwing, or when I'm at the St. Lawrence, that's like a 3/4 ounce weight. That's way too big for the bait finesse gear. It's way too heavy. So Yeah, it's one of those things. Some folks are like, "Oh, it's a fad." I'm like, "It's not a fad. Like, it's just it was designed in another part of the world, and we kind of." I just had the episode that's going to drop this week. I had a YouTuber on. He's in the Boston area, hobbyist fishing, and he spent a good chunk of his life living in South Korea, and when he moved back to the States, he was like, fishing in New England reminds me of the techniques, and like a lot of that, except the biggest difference, he's like, in New England, there's nowhere near the pressure that there is in Asia.
Yeah.
He's like, it's a whole other thing. So he goes, I was up here throwing these like really small baits, like super tiny, like scat baits and stuff. And he's like, I was like a king. It was amazing. I'm like, yeah, I know the feeling, man. I know the feeling. It's, yeah, on a tough day, it can be really, really good.
Yeah. I'm just afraid of having to re-rig a whole new setup, 2, 3, 4, 5 rods.
I know. Well, and the nice thing is like I had a buddy of mine. He was interested in. Last year we went out once to this one reservoir, it was flooded, and we just got on a really good bite throwing finesse swim baits, really light jig heads with a really slow fall, getting them kind of deep, and then running them around like flooded timber and stuff. And we were just catching smallies and like good sized rock bass, oddly. And they were just crushing this. And he was kind of a hater from the beginning. Same thing. He's like, yeah, I don't want to. I was like, you could add one rod and it would unlock so much for you. Like, you could do 2 or 3 or multiples. Like, I've got a couple. I've got one rod that's more moderate than the other. And I just kind of make the judgment between those two for the most part. But it's pretty nuts. It's good stuff. So let's talk about other techniques. Like, do you have a pet peeve for like fishing, like something that you just hate throwing? If you can avoid it, you will.
I hate fishing a Cinco so much. That is if I'm throwing a Cinco, it's a rough day.
It's a rough day.
It's a rough day. Yeah, if I have one of those.
I'm pretty much right there with you, man. Like, I'm not saying it's not effective, because it totally is. But yeah, if you see me throwing one, I've gone through the laundry list of everything. It's tough.
Yep.
I don't know what it is, man. Now, what
getting beat by it's even worse.
Oh
too,
my god! Because then at that point,
too stubborn to do it.
That's exactly earlier. Because you're just sitting there and you're like, hold on a second, we could have made this call hours ago.
Yep.
It's just crazy, and it's super effective. It's really versatile. There's lots you can do with it, but yeah, it is crazy. It's when it's real rough. Like, I'll throw it around docks. There's other stuff I'd rather throw, but man, that's crazy. What about when you're out there, right? Well, let's talk, like, getting back to travel and everything. What are some other destinations that you haven't hit yet that you absolutely are like, I gotta go and experience this? And these can be anywhere in the world.
So I do want to go out to New York. All those Smalley Lakes do sound amazing. I have Sturgeon Bay close to me, but I don't think Sturgeon Bay is nearly as good as New York. And you have to experience all of it. Just because one's nice doesn't mean you don't see both.
And New York, it's funny. Like, I sort of always wrote it off. I never really thought of it as like a fishy destination, but like, there's tons of great fishing up that way. I mean, obviously, like, you've got that New York side of Champlain, and I always sort of knew, that was there. But like, the Finger Lakes have really good fishing. Cayugas turned out some really big bass. The St. Lawrence River is unbelievable. I fished there once, and it was like relearning how to fish. Because,
really?
Well, I mean, I wasn't used to that depth and that kind of current in the area that we were. So, I mean, the first day I was fighting current, trying to find a spot and hold it. And then, fish like these heavy drop shots or a slightly lighter, like a half ounce, and just let it drift with the current. And I realized that it's more effective to fish with the current, and instead of fighting it. That we were up there at just a rough time. Like, we were up there one weekend. There was a tournament that day, and I think there were, out of the total number of boats, 6 boats turned in fish.
Oh wow,
it was rough.
That's a miserable day.
Oh, it was terrible. So like that last day, we're like, you know what? Let's not do this. Let's go and find another lake and just put some fish in the boat. And that was what we ended up doing. But it's like 5 hours from me. I'll go there in a heartbeat, and go back because I know that there's absolute giants up there.
And there's something about fighting a smallie from that deep, when they're just bulldogging you. There's nothing you can do but let them pull drag.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. Amazing.
It's nuts. And my co-host Joe was up there with Fish or Die. They usually do like a content week up there for the new baits and kind of get collect as much media as they can. So they get out there and they go out there with like I think it's called a flogger.
Yes.
And they're like looking down and like they're like, oh yeah, so we got some, we can get them. And some of these absolute footballs that they're pulling up from like ridiculous depth, like 60 feet, and they're just like, it's nuts. You just see the reels just spinning around, pulling drag. Unbelievable, man. You got to fizz a lot of fish when you're there. It's crazy.
It's kind of cool. Fizzing smallies is easy. Largemouth, I struggle. Well, I shouldn't say struggle. It's a little harder on a largemouth, but smallies are easy to fizz.
I've been lucky. I haven't had to do had to fizz a fish yet. I did have to. I would have had to fizz this one trout that I caught in a multi-species tournament, but I decided I'd bring them home and eat them instead.
So do trout have the same issue with their bladder?
They can, yeah. Yeah,
really?
if they're really, really deep, and I think it was just that. I this is probably on me with just horsing them up too fast, and I put them in my live well, and I put them on the measuring board and measured them, and I was like, I'll put them back in the live well, I'll get some pictures, some video, release them, and he was fine. I put him in there, and he was just like belly up, like just kind of like, and I was like, you know what? I grabbed my net. I was like, you're coming home. Bled him out. I was like, done deal. I'm
perfect.
like, you'll
get a meal out of them.
You're a stalker. Why not? Yeah. So
perfect.
Yeah, freaking pretty good stuff, man. Let's talk. Are there any other species you like to target? Are you like a big walleye guy?
So there's a lot of accidental caught walleye on our lakes, but I hate cleaning fish. I really do.
Yeah.
It's the effort's not worth it to me. The amount of money it costs to tow a boat to the lake, put it in, fish. I could just go to a good restaurant and
that's exactly
somebody else do it. And
for
my
sure.
hands don't smell like fish for 4 days.
Exactly. It's funny too, man, because like I was out fishing with a friend of mine. First time I had my boat in saltwater. She's like, "Oh, we'll catch stripers. It'll be great." And we're off the coast of Cape Cod in this little bay, and we couldn't find a striper for anything. We caught blues. we caught sea robins. We caught what else? A lot of scup. And she gets on the boat and she's like, "So you got a squid knife, right?" And I'm like, "A what? A squid knife?" So I relegated this because this knife, it smells terrible now. It was just like a utility knife that I kept on the boat for like if I had to cut something quickly or needed it for something. I was like, yeah, no problem. No, this thing it's all squid guts, and I'm like, this is gross. Now this has its own dedicated job. Hey, I got a squid knife. Unbelievable, man.
Were all those other species, were they all edible? That's
Oh, yeah.
kind of the cool thing about saltwater. Everything you catch, you could eat.
Absolutely. And what's interesting, like the sea robins, especially, they're delicious, but they are the creepiest looking things you've ever seen. They almost have like hands, like they look like bat wings, those front fins.
Really?
It's the crazy, like I assume they call them a sea robin because those fins are so big, they're like wings.
Okay.
And they're just crazy looking. Scup are delicious. People love them. I think they're also called porgies. These were really small, but a couple of them that we caught were pretty good. And we were just throwing these high-low rigs, which is kind of like a drop shot rig with 2 hooks on the line, and we just have a chunk of squid on each one. Oh, we were catching these small sharks too, these sandfish, dogfish.
Cool.
Oh man, unbelievable! We had such a good time. It was so much fun. She caught a big blue, and I was like, we could take that home and smoke it. Smoked bluefish is fantastic.
What's a bluefish like? What's it similar to?
I would honestly, it's kind of like. It's like a whitefish.
Okay.
I think I've only actually had it smoked. But it's a little bit more of a meaty texture. It's not as flaky as like haddock or cod or something like that. It's a little bit more like of an actual meaty texture to it. Smoked
like a tuna,
dynamite, kind of. It's not a red flesh though. It's awesome. It's actually oddly my wife hates fish, and there's this bar that we go to. They do two things: craft cocktails and charcuterie. And she was like, "I'm going to order the smoked bluefish," and I'm like, "You're not going to like it. I'm telling you." She loved it. It's
really?
It's like a must-have thing, and thankfully, it's like a staple that they have on the menu all the time. But it's nuts, man. It's absolutely crazy.
Nice.
So let's talk. Let's get into like when you're going to the water. How are you getting hyped up? Is there a playlist or an artist that you listen to? Are you listening to podcasts or anything like that? How do you get yourself in the mindset?
I actually listen to a ton of podcasts.
Yep.
I get all my news, all my fishing info. So music on the radio just does not appeal to me.
Yeah.
So I'm catching up on all the pro tournaments.
Sure.
I listen to the BTLs, the Mercers, everything like that. But typically, I'm listening to a fishing podcast on my way to a tournament in the morning.
That'll do it. It gets you thinking. It gets you in the right the process. As far as like every angler has that stop that they make on the way. They'll grab like a gas station or something. They'll grab something. How are you fueling up?
There's a Quick Trip. Quick Trips in Wisconsin are amazing.
I knew you were going to say Quick Trip.
You can get a steak there. The gas is cheap. It's the. I wish we had Buc-ee's to compare. So
of course.
I don't get to go into Buc-ee's that often, but Quick Trip in Wisconsin is
Quick Trip is no slouch though. I mean, I've been to a couple and no slouch whatsoever.
No, they're awesome. Good food. Bathrooms are clean. It's everything you need. All the lots are big enough for a truck and trailer.
Oh yeah. There was years ago. I want to say it was like 2004 or 2005. It might have been 2005. I took a road trip I was at the Wisconsin Dells. I didn't fish at this time, and I think back and I'm like, man, I should go back. I should 100% go back and fish Wisconsin because it's such a there's so much good stuff going on.
Yeah, there's tons of lakes. Everything from big to small. Lacrosse isn't far from the Dells. If you want the river action, there's tons of lakes up here.
Oh yeah, and that part of the country is like it's a fishy area, and I feel like you guys get better resources for like your boat launches are a little bit better. Like when I was in Michigan, and granted that was St. Clair, so I was like, I kind of feel like they're going to put a little bit of extra effort there. But I feel like even the tiny little launch we launched from in the bay where we were was actually set up pretty good. Like it really was. And there were attendees there that would take care of you if you had any questions or anything. Very, very cool stuff.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
What are some of your favorite lakes up there? Like you mentioned Geneva. Are there any other ones that you recommend?
Yeah, just down the road from Geneva, there's Delavan Lake, it's like Geneva's slutty little sister. When
That's
you have
my
a bad
favorite.
day on Geneva,
it's my
you can
favorite.
show up and Delavan's gonna put out for you.
That's great.
They put some stricter like restrictions on it of what people could take out of there. So a little bit smaller lake that's thriving a little bit better. Early in the year, because we got ice too, our lakes just opened up a couple weeks ago. March 1st, there's the cooling plant lakes around here open up. So we've kind of been doing that until the ponds open up north.
Nice. No, that's awesome. That's great. Let's talk like a couple of the big things that we do with Jigs and Bigs is it's all about fishing stories. So let's talk. There's two of them that I'm looking for from you. One of them is like whatever that moment was that you were like most proud of on the water. The other one is like the biggest epic fail, like where everything just went to shit. And I find most people struggle with that story because as anglers, we have a litany of those stories that we could pull from. Like there's never a shortage of failure stories.
So you mean failure like damaged boat or?
It could be anything. It could be a lost fish. It could be damaged stuff. It could be losing your keys overboard, like something like that.
So 2 weeks before I got married, a friend of mine got into some trouble and had to sell his boat. And it was for an appropriate price. So I tell my soon-to-be wife, I'm buying this boat, and she's like, "You've been fishing like 4 times since we've met each other."
Oh,
like,
wow.
What do you mean? I'm like, it's cheap enough. I could flip it even and make a few dollars if it's not what I want. I'm like, but I've been fishing my whole life, and the reason why I don't fish a lot is because I don't have a boat.
Yeah.
So I buy this boat and I take her out, and I go on a body of water that I used to go on when I was a kid, the Fox Chain, and it's a big circle. So he's like, you just stay to the left and you'll make your way all the way around. So I convince her to go out for the first time ever. It's early April, 60 degrees, the wind's howling. I follow a boat through. He makes it through just fine.
Yep.
I get stuck. I had to have a rescue boat come out and pull us out.
Oh,
the
wow.
first weekend I ever take my wife out on a boat, when I explained to her, I knew what I was doing. I obviously had no clue what I was doing.
Yeah, that's rough. How long was it before she went out with you again?
I probably not that year, not the first year.
All right, that's but that's actually probably good because you got a little bit, under your. So that's a pretty interesting story about how you got your first boat. What was that boat, and how long did you hold on to it?
It was an 02 Lund Explorer 16-footer.
Nice.
And I probably had it for 8 years, 10 years before I upgraded. Yeah.
That's
it was
awesome.
a tank. Did everything I could ask it to do.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a great boat.
That's very similar to what I'm rocking right now. I've got a 24 Lund Angler. 16 and a half foot. It's a nice wide platform, so it's good for content, but
it doesn't matter where you go. You could put it in any water.
100%.
You don't have to worry about docks banging against docks or jigs flying back and hitting it. You know,
it's not a big deal. It's something you can definitely live with, and that's the thing. Like it's not the best for like big water. Like when I was at St. Lawrence, we do some runs, and we were initially like days or weeks leading up to the trip. We're like, yeah, maybe we'll try out the lake. It would have to be dead calm, no wind at all to go and fool around with that. Like even St. Clair was like, it was sporty. There was one day we had when I was at St. Clair, and it was pretty sporty, and I was like, this is intense. This is intense. It's that little boat moves, but man, that's crazy. That's a good rig though, dude. The Explorer's a great platform. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Was it a full sport console or was it a side console?
It was a single console, with a steering wheel.
Yep.
But I built the front deck up like a bass boat deck. Yeah. It was so uneven. I should not have done it in hindsight, but it worked, man. It got me feeling felt like I was Bill Dance when I was younger, you know?
Absolutely. And it's funny because Lund actually makes some pretty good bass boats, like that Pro V bass line. Those things are unreal. And they have that V hull, so you kind of get the best of both worlds. You can light them up and do big water and cut right through waves and stuff. It's just, I was the guy that I bought my boat from. His shop was at one of our local expos, and he asked me, he was like, yeah, would you mind coming in and just kind of talking with people? Like, we'll just set you up in one of the boats. And he was like, yeah, set up right here in this Pro V Bass. And I put up like this, on the deck, I put up this screen with TV showing videos from Lund, stuff from the podcast, YouTube stuff, all kinds of stuff. And I was like, I should get out of here because I would upgrade in a second. This is a beauty. All like beautiful, brand new Humminbird units everywhere, like all kinds of stuff. Let's talk electronics. How are you like suited with electronics? Like, are you one of these anglers that leans on like any technology, or are you more, I want to see it with my eyes?
Yeah, so I run Lowrance, and
me too.
I love scoping. It's amazing.
Yeah,
like, there's nothing like it.
It really does give you a perspective that you can't have any other way.
We just had a big derby down at Pickwick, the championship from last year, and now I, in the big picture, understand the scoping argument amongst people because. It really does take a lot of the searching of the fish away, right? You only need to know the basic water temperature to kind of know where the fish are, and then with a scope, you can go execute. You don't need a week of yeah. So I understand the debate of it, but I hate the I like having one circuit not have it, one circuit split it up. I'm very disappointed that Bass cut it in half. But after spending the week here and actually committing to trying something that I don't do nearly as much up north, I do see why it's such a debate.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a hot topic for sure, and that's the one thing that's Joe and I have gone back and forth with, is that it is cool that they've put some limitation on at the elite level, especially there is the NPFL if you're an absolute purist and want to avoid it, something along those lines. And Joe, actually, it was just was it this last episode? I think, it was the one that's going to drop on Monday. He even said, he's just down south, it's different if you're in a club league and you're in Massachusetts than if you're in a club league and you're in South Carolina, because there are so many other anglers that are there that they can create leagues and trails for, specific limitations, specific vessels, all kinds of stuff. And he goes, it's because up here you have a smaller amount of anglers on the water that happen to have an interest in competing and putting money on the line, that you kind of the only differentiation we have in our local leagues up here are aluminum and everything else. And aluminum, everything else, and kayaks, that's really it. Do you find that to be your situation in your area?
Yeah. So the argument, a lot of it is some of the smaller club level stuff tends to be the older guys that really are just putting the date on the calendar to go fishing.
Yes.
And they don't want to grow, but it's also hard to be a new guy and buy a boat with something new.
Yep.
And you don't want to jump in with the $300 weekend entries. You want to start club level where you're not necessarily. It's not a big deal to donate $40 to try a tournament.
You're not losing an electric bill.
You're buying a round of drinks is what you're doing.
Exactly.
It's no different. But for a $300 entry, you want to know what you're using, and you want to be able to use what you want to compete, right?
For sure, yeah, because money, there's more on the line at that point. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so we do have that same issue with different types of clubs, and it's always trying to figure out where you're at. Am I good enough to be in that club, or do I need to go lower?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Because we run our own trail, a national trail. We run a slot limit series for bass. So it's only fish that are between 12 and 17 inch that count. So somebody that's in Wisconsin, somebody in Massachusetts, somebody in, some of these northern states where, 16, 17 inch fish are harder to come by than they are elsewhere. Or if we're going a traditional, big bag at best of 5, teams down south have a little bit of an advantage because there are more larger fish down there. We've seen this before with you'll get some dude or they'll do a region and they'll include Virginia. And Virginia's got some donkeys for fish. They really do. Yeah, it's just people don't think about it, but Virginia's got some pretty good fish. We would see people that would win from those areas. So we developed this slot limit tournament, and it works nationwide. But this year we launched something cool, and it's a team tournament, but it's by region. We only launched one region where the majority of our listening audience is. So it's all 6 New England states, Pennsylvania, Jersey, and New York. No Great Lakes. The Great Lakes will be their own trail.
That's key.
That's the big one.
That's key.
We're leaving, obviously, the Finger Lakes are there, Champlain's there, Candlewood's there. There are big bodies of water that are available, but we're the Great Lakes are nice because we can lump them all together. Even St. Lawrence is included in New York, but past the mouth of the river, it's off limits. And they're catch, photo, release. So it's you can have this is kind of COVID that inspired this, is lots of anglers that are online in that time. Because of the internet, we've made friends with people that are just absolute sticks in their area, and maybe we've never actually fished with them. So now you could be on 2 different bodies of water, and it's a monthly. So you just fish any body of water that's in bounds that month, and it's your best 5 fish as a team that's your bag. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. When you grow out toward Midwest, I'll hop in.
We will.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the next places we're going to be adding, actually. It'll probably be because, we haven't even We're just about to start the April one, which is the first one ever, and we've already got, I think, 10 teams, which is crazy because I didn't expect it to be this popular. And I was like, okay, this is pretty good. So Joe and I...
10 teams is a good start.
It is.
10 teams is a good start.
It's a good place to start, and I think that it'll grow and get, bigger and better as things go around. But it's cool because, like, in the slot limit series, there's another tournament we do that's really interesting. It's the oldest tournament we've been running, which is the multi-species scavenger hunt. So there's 22 or 23 species. It's like Pokemon. Try to catch them all. Nobody ever has. I think like 15 or 16 is the record. It's hard. Like there's certain fish that we don't put in there because they're so unique. Like there isn't a year that goes by somebody from South Florida is like, well, what about this cichlid? And I'm like, we're just going to do a Florida thing. Like it would be easier to do that than to, give you 3 points for this tiny panfish when, it would just be one we could lump in with sunfish or something. But yeah, we have a good time with it. It's a whole lot of fun. And this year we're rolling out some awards for like some of the biggest in that species.
Okay.
And then we're doing in the slot limit, we're doing most 17s. Which is a pretty cool title to have. So if you've got like the most 17s entered in a single tournament, that's crazy.
So it would be however many 17. Yep. Like, I see.
It's pretty awesome, and it's a lot of people are just like, oh well, I could catch like a 19 or a 20 and enter it as a 17. We're like, nope, it gets DQ'd. It's got to measure 17. The second it crosses that 17.25-inch mark, it's out.
There you go.
It's crazy. So yeah, it's like, it works pretty good. It's a fun one.
I'd have to get a different cull stick. Mine's 15 inches. That's all. I only have to worry about 14. That's the only thing I ever measure.
Well, and we've added a couple of measuring boards. Like we used to do just the catch ones, and Catch made a plastic one called the carbonite board, so it's nice and light, easy to store.
It's a little smaller, right?
It's no, it's actually available in I think it's a 24. I think it's a 24-inch, and then there's a 32. Okay. And the 32 is nice, but we have methods where, like, if people... Pike, that's a good example. Pike will blow past that mark of the board. So we just tell people, if you're out pike fishing and you're trying to catch a pike or a muskie, something that's going to be like a big catfish or a big, carp or something that's going to go past the board, put the fish on the board so the nose is right on the bridge. Take a tape measure and line it up at the 0 line and take the measurement off that tape. But if in the photo everything's there, we count it.
Okay.
So we're like reasonable about it. It's pretty cool. The buy-ins are affordable. Like our whole thing is like we've booted people because they were overly competitive, and we're like, this is not the place for you. Like it's just not. And it was inspired by kayak fishing, but like in the slot series, we have people that have won it fishing from the bank.
Oh yeah,
it's nuts. It's so much fun.
That's a perfect size 17 for a bass too.
It really is.
It's a good fish, but it's not a monster.
Yeah, it's nothing that's going to be like. And it does kind of suck because we don't have lunkers. That's where the team tournament comes in. Is there will be a lunker, like a lunker award for that, and we're like, this is pretty cool. But having the regions is going to split it up real nice. But we're definitely going to be moving west and south at the same time, and creating larger regions to kind of divide some stuff. It'll be fun stuff, man.
Sweet.
It'll be really good. That's awesome. So what about the moment you were most proud of? We got to the fail. What's the one that you're just like, yeah? Like think about it like this, Joe. If you're like at a wedding or an event and you go up to the bar and somebody's like, hey man, I heard from so-and-so you fish. What's that story you're leading with?
So that's a hard one. I don't mind talking about screw-ups, but
fails.
I hate bragging,
I know.
So probably the first time we won a bigger event, the first Geneva tournament that we won.
That's awesome.
We weighed in our first 20-pound bag.
Nice.
That was.
It's a good feeling,
It is. You donate money for years, and then finally it's like, all right.
What was that like for you as far as like the anxiety? Like, I mean, you've got a good bag, but there's that got to be that part in the back of your mind where you're just like, does somebody have 21.25, or does somebody have?
We didn't know if we had 20. It was a windy day, and
all right.
Our school was on a super windy point.
Yep.
But to be honest, I don't care what the fish weighs as long as my scale allows me to cull properly.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And we caught a kicker largemouth that I didn't know how big it was, and that went right into the box. So we didn't know where we were.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, you were definitely
came back,
this could go either way.
I was looking for somebody that had chew. I wanted to chew. I had quit chewing, but it was just as stressful as coming back with zero. Exactly. So I bummed a pinch from somebody, and I had to sit for what felt like days to go through the weigh-ins.
Yeah, I bet, man. That's rough. That is freaking rough, dude. Joe, this is really, really good, man. Before we wrap up, I want you to let the listeners know, especially with Gentlemen's Club Jigs, where they can find out more about these jigs. If they have questions, how can they reach out to you? Promote yourself a little bit. The opportunity. Let's sell some jigs.
Cool, yeah. So I tie them out of my basement here in Wheeling, Illinois. So I can sell them through my Facebook, which is just Gentlemen's Club Jig, or the Instagram, which is Gentlemen's Club Jig. We will also be at DNR Sports shortly, Van Dam Warehouse.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
So you'll be able to go online and actually purchase from them, not just buying from some guy that's peddling off of Facebook. We're actually in stores. So we're in a couple local stores, but they're not online, but DNR Sports and Van Dam Warehouse will have it.
You know what? I just had an idea. One of the partners that we have at Jigs and Bigs is Dark Horse Tackle. And Dark Horse Tackle is an online retailer. Like, they have baits that you can buy. Their whole thing is small batch, custom, unique stuff. I'm going to get you in touch with Zach, because I think your jigs would be amazing. They do a monthly box subscription, but they also just are a retail outlet. Like, you can go online and purchase them. I think something like that would be right up your alley, because they offer a variety of different jigs. I mean, some that you probably have fished with before, but what you've got is totally different.
Yeah, it is.
I've never seen anything like
it. It doesn't
that.
look like like what you open up typically.
Yeah,
from a pack on the shelf.
It really does. I'm highly impressed with it. That is something I for sure. I'm like, that I'll put you in touch with those guys for sure, because I think that would be a really good opportunity to get these in front of some folks and really kind of see what this is all about. Introduce some real. We just talked last week about innovation. What that looks like to us, what you're doing with something that's been around for generations. The Bastion.
Like jigs, there's just a jig, right?
I'm looking at it, and it's funny because a lot of people are just like, "Oh, Bobby, you're just a fucking stoner douchebag. You don't pay attention to the guests." I look at these websites during the interview because I want this to be organic. When I'm like, "Oh, holy shit!" So I had no idea you put the work in for such a specific head, for a specific hook with that angle. It's commendable, dude. Good job.
Yeah, it's honestly my favorite way to fish. It's my favorite bite. I love just that electricity when you feel it. You just,
I'll tell you,
just whack them.
Because this is going to be on the week after the next show drops, and we're going to start talking about some stuff. Joe and I are. Well, I asked him when we announced the team tournament. I was like, Joe, should we be a team, or should we create a team with listeners, something like that? And he's like, oh no, I think we got to be a team. So we were talking about names, and we came up with a name, Big Jig Energy. But I was like, awesome. We're going to have fans, and I was like, we're going to find a team after this first month, and they're going to be our rival. I don't know if I'm not a sports guy at all, but I love the camaraderie of sports, and I'm a mask guy. The Boston Red Sox fans that would wear Yankees Suck T-shirts absolutely have my heart. Absolutely. So I think we have this one kid that's an absolute stick, and I say kid, he's like 12, and he's won I think more slot limit tournaments than anybody else. He is, when he gets to be older, it's going to be a problem in tournaments around here. He's
good for him.
He's killing it. He's killing it. And I said to it was Binya is our tournament director, and he's like, he goes, so Brody asked me to be on his team, and he's like, so he's calling his team Binya and the Kid. We're gonna go hard and talk a lot of smack. We got to back it up, but who knows?
You got to make that kid thick-skinned,
Exactly. Somebody's got
when everyone's talking trash about him on the BASS pages, he can be like, "Get bent. Look at this trophy."
He can hang. Dylan Nutt's got nothing on Brody. Nothing. Unbelievable. Joe, thanks so much, dude, for doing this. This is really, really great.
Thanks for having me.
Do me a favor and send me a picture of you holding a giant, because we'll use it on the artwork for the episode, so that when people, if they're looking for your episode, even if it's months from now, they'll see you right on the artwork. Also, send me your logo, because I'll put that on the artwork as well.
Okay, just through your email?
Yeah, through my email or through Facebook. It's totally up to you. Either one.
Cool. And then give me your address. I'll send you a few jigs. So.
Beautiful. Absolutely, man. I'll message you for sure. That'd be great. I will definitely put the work in with them, man. And that's my go-to size, 1/2 ounce.
Yeah, you'll be happy with them.
No, that's awesome. Well, Joe, thanks so much, man. I appreciate you for doing this. We got more Jigs and Bigs goodness coming up right after this. Don't go too far. Bobby, you're just a fucking stoner douchebag. You don't pay attention to the guests. I look at these websites during the interview because I want this to be organic. When I'm like, oh, holy shit. So, like, I had no idea you put the work in for such a specific head, for a specific hook with that angle. Like, that's commendable, dude. Good job.
Yeah, it's honestly my favorite way to fish. It's my favorite bite. I love just that electricity when you feel it, and you just.
I'll tell you,
just whack them.
Because this is going to be on the week after the next show drops, and we're going to start talking about some stuff. Joe and I are. Well, I asked him when we announced the team tournament. I was like, Joe, should we be a team, or should we create a team like with listeners, something like that? And he's like, oh no, I think we got to be a team. So we were talking about names, and we came up with a name, Big Jig Energy. But I was like, awesome. We're going to have fans, and I was like, we're going to find a team after this first month, and they're going to be our rival. Like, I don't know if I'm not a sports guy at all, but I love the camaraderie of sports, and I'm a mass guy. The Boston Red Sox fans that would wear Yankees Suck t-shirts absolutely have my heart. Absolutely. So I think we have this one kid that's an absolute stick, and I say kid, he's like 12, and he's won I think more slot limit tournaments than anybody else. He is, when he gets to be older, it's going to be a problem in tournaments around here. He's
good for him.
He's killing it. He's killing it. And I said to it was Binya is our tournament director, and he's like, yeah, he goes, so Brody asked me to be on his team, and he's like, so he's calling his team Binya and the Kid. We're gonna go hard and talk a lot of smack. We got to back it up, but who knows?
You got to make that kid thick-skinned,
Exactly. Somebody's got
when everyone's talking trash about him on the BASS pages, he can be like, "Get bent! Look at this trophy."
Like, he can hang. Dylan Nutt's got nothing on Brody. Nothing. Unbelievable. Joe, thanks so much, dude, for doing this. This is really, really great.
Thanks for having me.
Do me a favor and send me a picture of you holding a giant, because we'll use it on the artwork for the episode, so that when people, if they're looking for your episode, even if it's months from now, they'll see you right on the artwork. Also, send me your logo, because I'll put that on the artwork as well.
Okay, just through your email?
Yeah, through my email or through Facebook. It's totally up to you. Either one.
Cool. And then give me your address. I'll send you a few jigs. So.
Beautiful. Absolutely, man. I'll message you for sure. That'd be great. I will definitely put the work in with them, man. And that's my go-to size, 1/2 ounce.
Yeah, you'll be happy with them.
No, that's awesome. Well, Joe, thanks so much, man. I appreciate you for doing this. We got more Jigs and Bigs goodness coming up right after this. Don't go too far.
Protein is now at Starbucks, and it's never tasted so good. You can add protein cold foam to your favorite drink or try one of our new protein lattes or matcha. Try it today at Starbucks.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Tap the banner to learn more and get a quote at USAA.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
K-pop demon hunters Haja Boy's breakfast meal and Huntrix meal have just dropped at McDonald's. They're calling this a battle for the fans. What do you say to that, Rumi?
It's not a battle. So glad the Saja boys could take breakfast and give our meal the rest of the day.
It is an honor to share.
No, it's our honor.
It is our larger honor.
No, really. Stop.
You can really feel the respect in this battle. Pick a meal to pick a side.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
At participating McDonald's while supplies last.
Pros, just because something on the job runs out doesn't mean you have to. Order it on the Lowe's app. My Lowe's Pro Rewards members get free same-day delivery on eligible orders over $25. Get the fasteners, hardware, or tools you need to keep the job moving. Order by 2 p.m. and get eligible in-stock items delivered right to your job site by 8 p.m. Members get more at Lowe's. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Subject to availability. Restrictions and terms at lowes.com/shipping terms. Subject to change.
Hi there. Welcome to the Live Well, where we crack open a ramp beer and attempt to answer all of your burning questions.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. Hold on a second. Before we jump into the Live Well, right, there's some talk of the jig heads going on right now. And Ian Jamerson says, as a stand-up comedian, I'm a member of the Comedy and Bass, but y'all motherfuckers are New England kings of fishing comedy tonight. Dude, thank you. Oh, I didn't know you did stand-up, Ian. That's awesome. That's fucking badass.
Dang, dude.
Yeah.
You got, Ian, are you up on like... I want to know if there's any like YouTubes of your stuff.
We got to see some shit. Yeah,
I love stand up.
Drop some links in the comments right here, or DM us on Instagram or whatever you prefer. Because I'm gonna have another one of these seltzers, and I like to laugh. I thought you were gonna cry. I thought you were gonna be like
cry tonight. Probably won't do much laughing. Probably do a lot of crying.
Fair enough. I thought you were gonna be like, hey Ian, do you have a special on Netflix? You know. We're not all at the Classic. By the way, great conversation on the boat about the Bassmaster Classic for next year. So one of the things that I did work out this week was talking, and it was a new little group chat between myself and Shan and Joe. And we're talking some good stuff, and it's good. I'm excited for the Classic. It's going to be good. We're going to have some fun. Not that I'll be fishing it other than recreationally, but it is what it is. Let's talk. We have a number of phone calls and text messages this week in the Live Well. If you guys are interested in contacting us via the Live Well, you should go ahead and do so. 413-324-8519 is the number. I did it 2 weeks in a row, Joe. Didn't need to look at the notes for it, but we got calls, we got texts, we got all kinds of stuff that we got to talk about. So let's jump into our first call right here. And this is from Brandon. And here we go.
Bobby, who the fuck is Joe Brown? Question for the Live Well. When to use tungsten strip base to apply to your hard base? For a little bit more depth, or just a different presentation with it sinking? What are your thoughts? Tight lines.
So I'll be honest with you guys. I think the only time I've ever, and I haven't even ever necessarily used them, but the only time I've ever heard of anybody using like that tungsten tape is for jerkbaits. You know, when you want to get them to sink, although actually I take that back. I think that the same could be said. People might use them for glides as well when they maybe change out the hooks and they're not as heavy or something like that. So I could see where this would come into play, but I think that kind of answers the question right there. I don't know if very many people use them on like deep divers. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody using them on deep divers, but yeah, I don't know. I have never used them. Do you guys ever use tungsten tape for your weight?
No, and the reason why I don't is you screw with the weight, you're screwed with the action.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yep. So like, yeah, no, I just try to adjust the bait versus I try to adjust with different baits versus adjusting the bait itself.
Yeah.
The thing I found with like jerk baits is like you have to be very precise too. Like you can't just put it on the head. You can't put it on the back. Like I played around with it a little bit at one point.
Yep.
But like I felt like you got more of an effect if you wanted it to sink a little bit faster by just changing the hook than you did the actual, because it changes how the bait reacts in the water too.
Yeah.
It's not just a matter of changing the sink rate, but it changes how it, when you jerk it, it has more of a, like, it wants it to spin instead of like actually flipping to the side kind of deal.
Oh, see, I've only ever seen people use them on like the belly of the bait to get that belly to sit so it sits right, and it'll be heavier. It'll sink a little bit faster than maybe it normally does. Although now that I think about it, I know on some other like swim baits, like I've seen people before that will take lead wire and wrap it around the inside of the treble.
Yeah.
Something like that as well. So I guess, yeah, that would be the situation. Is primarily, I would say that is probably it there, Brandon. You probably just want to do this when you want a bait to sink a bit more. And that might be from like changing a hook or something like that. Yeah, I don't know, man. I would have to look around it and play with that. But that is an interesting one. We do have this call from Eli, and this one, here we go.
Hey, it's Eli for a question for the live well. So this past week, my wife and I went down to Florida to go visit her grandma. And we ended up doing a boat tour on Mount Dora Lake in Florida, which is a lake on the Harris Chain of lakes. And at one point in time, my wife tapped my grandma or her grandma on the shoulder and was like, "Look at Eli." And I was fake casting at docks or underneath docks, just like I was mimicking it and all this. So that's my question, or that's up my question to ask. Skipping. First of all, what are you skipping? What baits are you skipping? Second of all, is there a certain line size, certain rod that you're using? I know obviously a big one's going to depend on the bait, but do you want a fast tip, moderate fast? How do you skip? Like, what suggestions do you have? Is there anything that helped you or keys that helped you? I've been able to skip a swim jig with some medium success, but not many other things. And so, yeah, I just want to kind of a deep dive on skipping baits under docks, under laydowns and stuff like that. What are your suggestions, recommendations, tips, tricks, all that?
Skipping is tough, dude.
So tough.
It's different for different anglers. Like my skipping was ridiculous. It is ridiculously more effective and tighter in the kayak when I'm lower on that surface of water. It is.
Yep. It is easier to skip in a kayak because you can kind of sidearm it.
Yeah, you're right in there, and it's a little bit different when you're standing on the deck of a boat. And it's also different when you're on the bank, because it does come in handy bank fishing, like being able to skip a plastic like under some brush, to get it way back in there. But it can come at the cost of like not just risk of losing the bait, but risk of potentially blowing up the spot, giving yourself away too much. So I would say like the first thing that when I really was like, I want to learn how to do this technique because I see the benefit of doing it. There were two baits that I was primarily trying to skip. And they're both soft plastics. One of them was a Senko, be it a wacky rig, a Texas rig, whatever. A soft plastic, like that, a Senko, really almost of any type. And I feel like the key, like I fish a lot of weightless soft plastics on spinning gear. And I felt that skipping with spinning gear was just a little bit easier. And it helps to kind of get the mechanics. Once you're confident of like, this is where I have to release, now it's just playing with the playing with the changeover to the bait caster to make it work and get good at it, you know how you see, like, I have a buddy of mine, but Vegan Jared, the Subaru guy, he sent me a meme a while ago, and not a meme, this fishing video on Instagram, and he was like, dude, can you do this? And it was one of those like crazy skipping videos where it was like 50 skips. It was like under the, dock or whatever. And I'm like, I mean, not like that. I could probably get like 4, maybe 5 skips if I'm really good and I've got the distance and all that shit. It's tough. The other bait that I started actually was a buzz toad. And what I was doing was I was throwing a buzz toad under a tree line and then running it back out like the long way, and I was just getting blown up on it. It worked really good. So soft plastics are really good with me. I can skip like a flipping jig or an archy jig. I can skip that. I usually like to do so with like a plastic. The thing is with a jig, I look more toward how is the plastic shaped? Is it round or does it have a flatter edge? And I find that gives it a little bit better of an opportunity to kind of like skate along the water like that. So that works out pretty well. As far as like rod and reel, because that's the thing, I wouldn't adjust a rod presentation. Like I wouldn't be like, oh, I can't skip this jig and use my jig rod. I'm going to have to put it on something that's more moderate, or I'm going to skip this, paddle tail swim bait under, whatever, like a dock, and then swim it back out. But I have to do it on this specific rod. I think it's more of just adjust to the rod that you need for that technique and then try to skip them all. I will tell you, one of the things that I have noticed is that smaller baits, I feel, for me, skip a little bit easier. And I don't necessarily know why that is. So when I'm fishing finessey stuff like bait finesse or weightless soft plastics, that helps. And you're going to fuck it up. Like it's going to be, you're going to blow up some spools, Eli, and I think we actually talked about this before because I feel like I knew that Eli had skipped swim jigs in the past. And I'll bet you if that's the case, I feel like you're probably already ahead of the curve. But I would say like if you're dock fishing, like I know some folks that don't fish anything around docks except for not bladed jigs, weightless soft plastics like Senkos, like a wacky or a Ned if it's a really deep dock. They want to get it down there a little bit more. Yeah. What about you, Joe? What do you think? Do you do a lot of skipping? I can't skip a bait caster for the life of me. There's one setup that I can sometimes do it with a jig. Yep. But when it comes to spinning gear, I'm pretty good. I can usually skip pretty much anything. Spinning gear does. I feel like there's a little bit of a forgiveness with it. Yeah, I don't know what 100%. And I mean I'm not like pounding my chest because most people can, but yeah, if I'm trying to skip docks or whatever, I just usually throw on some kind of wacky or Nico rig, and that's what I do. Dude, that's awesome.
So my recommendation, one bait, and apparently the train's going by my house too. Like Bobby was saying, my house is like a traffic zone. One bait I learned to skip really well with, and you can pick it up at AVF Tackle, as a matter of fact, is the bellows gill. That thing skips really, really well. Like that thing it's got the right weight and the right profile where if you want to practice skipping with like a bait caster, that's the kind of style of bait you want to use because it's like a skipping rock already, the shape of it and everything. That's one that I will skip up under docks a lot because of that profile on there. Oh. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll give that a shot this year. Because that's actually the first time I ever caught a fish on that. That's how I caught it. Was I was skipping that up under docks and then just letting it basically fall and then swimming it out, and it was a sneaky bait to try to do that with. I don't skip much on like actual bait casters, and if you're going to practice with a bait caster, put cheap line on. Don't use the expensive fluoro. Put some cheap stuff on there for a little bit because you are going to blow it up. That's actually a good thing that Zach just said. I never thought of that.
Make a regular cast, put a strip of tape across your spool, then practice skipping.
Yep.
That I've heard that before a bunch as well. Yeah, it's a really, really good idea. Because then, you're not blowing it up past where where that cast where you want it to go. So
they actually make reels. Like Cast King has a reel with a button for it for flipping and skipping and stuff like that.
Yeah, doesn't it take disengage all of the brakes? Yeah,
it basically is like holding down the button while you're casting it, but then when you let it go, it just stops the spool. But
Bert, you cannot say those things and let that go to his head. I already know it's on the way there.
God.
He says this dude took first place in Kayak Adventure Series first turn. He trusts his words. I know he's actually on the road. He's down there now, I think he's driving, and that's why you want to listen to the show live. But man, that is freaking bananas, dude. I think that skipping is one of those things that like I don't think it'll ever keep you from being able to catch fish necessarily. It's definitely handy to know, just like pitching. It's like when you have to put that bait into a very specific spot because the fish are tucked up tight in there, like it does come in handy. So it's just one of those things you just have to, practice and make happen. But yeah, I don't think for rods specifically, I don't think I've heard much of anything's, maybe, but again, with skipping and any kind of practice, that's going to vary angler to angler.
Yeah.
The way that you do something versus, something else. We got a couple of text messages this week too, which is pretty good. Canadian Koala said that commenting, he likes to do this like it'll be middle of the night on Monday night when the episode drops, and I'll get a bunch of messages. He goes, "Shad have a natural seasonal die off in the spring and a healthy ecosystem." This is that comment from last week's live well about when we were trying to answer the question about the bait fish die off in specific areas and everything. And I mean that's gonna vary, but like we see fish kills and stuff like that. I do know like the only shad experience that I have is the Connecticut River, and I know that after they have made their way up here, they start to die and stink up the fucking joint.
You should see the banks of Champlain on ice out. The alewives do not deal with temperature change well, and it's just lined with dead alewives.
Guys, look at the latest comment.
Oh, who is it?
Oh,
Joe's got skipping Civic style.
Oh.
Wow, dude. I have to hurt. Wow, that is fucking. He says too soon. My man said too soon. Ian, if you have a show coming up soon and you need an opener for it, I'm just saying, Bert's got jokes. Fucking terrible. I love this shit. While we're talking about the Canadian koala, I also he sent me a Instagram post for a real estate page. And dude, 41 acres in Vermont with multiple cabins. Like it seemed like there was one cabin that was ready to live in, like beautiful, everything was ready to go, and the other ones were very like basic cabins, like utilitarian on this property. Multiples. I don't know if there was like 5, I don't know if there was like 2 or if there was 10 or whatever, but there were multiples on here. Take a guess at what the price was on this.
It was 41.
41 acres.
Whereabouts? What
town?
Area of Vermont?
I don't remember. I'll try and take a look and give you guys some more info. I couldn't believe this though.
1.4.
I was gonna say it's at least 1 or 2 million.
1 or 2. That's an interesting one. Let's go up here a little bit. I'll see if I can find the post. All right, Newbury, Vermont. Do you know where that is, Mike?
No, actually. Let me look.
$225,000.
What?
That seems
crazy low. Right?
I know where that is. Yeah,
you do.
That's up in it's almost into the Northeast Kingdom.
Yep.
And that is what I call banjo country for Vermont. Like it's one of those places
perfect.
where like
that's all I've wanted in life, man.
Yeah, like it's not. It's a very like so there's
syrup or jelly.
Well, what's crazy, Bobby, about that area is so that is by the Groton National Forest. So it's actually state land all around it too.
That's fucking great, dude. When you just want to be alone. I'm just saying, like, if there's one of those locations that's ready to, like, dude, that is great. I showed it to my wife and she's like, what? I'm like, you always wanted to move to Vermont.
So you have to be careful with the one thing I will say is in Vermont, there's weird zoning laws. So like if it's zoned as a seasonal cabin, you can't live there.
Oh,
that's the one weird thing. Because when I was looking at houses, there was a bunch of places that like had like cabins on the lake and they were cheap.
You guys are the worst. Make sure Joe got rid of Candy's info. She might be a gold digger. She could be. She could be. Maybe that wasn't a fiance. Maybe those.
No, dude. Actually, I'm gonna keep her number, and I'm gonna be a gold digger because she's probably gonna get a real good payout from this.
Probably.
She's gonna be driving a new car pretty soon, brand new.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, no, it's her fiance's car. I'll bet you that's why he was pissed.
Oh yeah,
that's why. He was
I didn't even tell you the best part. No. You know why he was so pissed?
Why is that?
He just paid it off 2 months ago.
Oh God, no. Oh, that's brutal.
That's brutal.
That is fucking brutal. Oh, and then he put this one on. This is again Canadian koala. He was golf is or definitely can be cheaper than fishing. Or you guys remember we had that conversation?
I say no. So I say maybe. No, I say maybe.
I think it depends.
And here's why I say maybe.
Yeah.
If you're just like a bank angler,
you're not paying to go fishing every time.
Right. And golf is way more expensive.
Fishing doesn't have a membership fee.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, dude, it's like if you golf at a decent place, it's $50 to $100 each time you go.
Well,
and that's
like look at like what is required to fish? A rod, a reel, and line, and a hook, right? You could dig up some worms, and that would be free. You know? Yeah. Oh, yeah. He says, if you rent clubs. Yeah, but I mean, to do it once, to do it over and over and over again, that rental is going to add up, and you would end up having to make that kind of investment, you know? You need a license.
When I was big into golf, when I bought my bag of clubs, it was like $4,000.
That's what I'm saying. It would take a long time to fucking, that's crazy. I lose more than that every time I go fishing. I mean, you know, when you factor in like lost baits and stuff, but if you're, I don't know, it's crazy. Is American tackle big in Japan like it is over here? I doubt it. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it.
If anything, maybe it's like, actually, no, because I can't even think of a brand that would.
Well, a lot of the stuff too, like they, like we were having that conversation with hobbyist fishing about when in that interview, he even said, he's like, Aros makes a specific bait, and he was like, you have to make a 5-inch version of this. And they're like, why? No way. That's huge. And it's because of the pressure over in other countries. Right. It's so much higher than it is here. So that's the thing. It's, I don't know, it's great. Although there is also like the American culture thing too, like Levi's and shit took off. So you never know.
That's true. That's true.
It could just be like, you know, you see like all of these folks that have like really, really great, like, you know, JDM stuff, and they're walking around wearing like Guggen hoodies or something like that. You know what I mean?
Check out this sick Lose American Hero reel. What a dude! I got a Black Max. I'll sell it to you for $500 fucking bucks.
That's what the tournaments are over there. You get like a winning record, and they're just like, no. Now you have to use this American gear, and they're like as like a handicap. You know?
Yeah.
Use a yum dinger. You know what I mean? That was rough. Yeah, I don't know. The conversation is still going in the comments about golf being. I think Nick, you ruffled some feathers with that one, man. Ruffled some feathers. We got
so coming from somebody who used to golf a shit ton.
Yep.
For someone with a boat.
Yeah.
And if I'm going out a ton and burning a ton of gas, if I live down south, big bodies of water, burning a ton of gas.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't think I spend $50 to $100 each trip around here.
Yeah. Around here. Definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
No.
I don't spend nearly that, even with gas prices as bad as they are. Last time I filled my boat, because I run premium in my boat because it's premium. So I mean, like the last price I paid was like $585. Today when I gassed up my truck, it was $599.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I know. I drive a diesel. I get it.
Oh, dude, yeah, absolutely.
Drove.
I drove a diesel.
Oh God, dude, yes.
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
But when I was down in Tennessee, I filled my boat with non-ethanol. And shit, that cost me $200.
I say the non-ethanol is.
They say that's the best. And didn't we see that actually at Tits?
I think.
They got it there. They got it there.
Yeah. They got everything in Tits. And I got a good laugh when we were over there. But I was like, I'm not putting this in my boat. I'm like, we're going to top out at 30 regardless. I got to figure out, folks. I mentioned this in the chat earlier. I was like, I don't know where I'm going to fish tomorrow. So if you guys have an idea, let me know. Because I'm way open to suggestion. One thing that I do want to chime in, because we have a couple other text messages that we'll go through here, but I want to chime in on this. I started earlier in the show, I had asked the jig heads what they would do if they won like Powerball money, like major stuff. Big ass lake bass boat. That's what Eli says. I think that's a given for anybody. Big ass lake bass boat, 100%. And then of course Zach chimes in and says, buy a shit ton of jelly beans. Duh. I can appreciate that, Zach. I can appreciate that. John Hagan says, I'm buying as much acreage as I can, especially riverfront property. It'll be put in a trust upon my passing. It'll be returned to the indigenous tribes that originated from the area. That one makes everybody else sound like a total piece of shit. Totally does. And then this one too. Pat's not far behind. It says, buy my parents a more suitable house and move into theirs. Complete refab the tracker, and trade up my truck from a Taco to Tundra. Invest the rest and keep my job.
Hey Pat, I know a used Ram you could probably buy.
Good price.
That's the last one.
Brandon, what's your budget, dog? You can't go wrong with Buffalo Trace. If they have Buffalo Trace, get Buffalo Trace.
Yeah, Buffalo Trace is fantastic. I would say I'm a fan of Four Roses. Any of them, I think they're highly underrated.
Four Roses is good.
Yep.
Even like Redemption's good. Like Redemption,
Angel's Envy. That's
Angel's Envy is real good.
That's real
I
good,
love
man.
Angel's Envy.
Yeah. We're fucking lushes.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm partial to Whistle Pig because it's made like half an hour from my house. But
I just finished a bottle of Whistle Pig 12.
Yeah.
Oh,
literally, Whistle Pig was one of my softball team sponsors for a while. Like it's literally made like an hour from here.
Yep.
Yep. Now, one thing about that big money thing. Now, it's funny is everybody I've talked to that owns a lake house doesn't fish the lake that they live on, because it's too accessible. And they end up traveling to another place. Like, what do you guys think about that? Like, I'm always curious, like, would I get sick of it and go somewhere else anyways?
See, that's the thing. I feel like if I had a lake house, I would get lazy as a fisherman.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't bother going anywhere else because it would be too convenient to just leave my boat on my dock, go out there and, fish whatever and catch what I can. Like, and that's why, like, if it was like gun to my head, I had to buy a lake house, it would be on one of the biggest lakes possible. So you could invest a lifetime into
a place like Champlain or Candlewood.
Absolutely.
Or one of those places that's huge. Yeah.
Yep. Something like that. St. Clair. St. Clair's not it's not like Great Lake big. Yeah. Something like that on one body of water. It would be on something like that. Yeah. Yeah, Todd says, when I was living on the lake, I was on it every single morning. I lived on a lake for a year, and I didn't take advantage of it at all. It's because I didn't fish at all. It had been years since I had even touched a fishing rod. So I'm like, I didn't even think about it. But I regret it now, big time, man. Big time. We got this message here. I think this is from Kevin, Biohazard Bassin. And he says, kicking myself in the ass today. Traveled to Rhode Island and didn't bring my kayak or fishing gear. Thought it was going to be raining. Fuck me. 72 and sunny would have been my first outing, and I blew it.
I can tell you there were some Rhode Island fish entered into the monthly. So
Yeah.
they're definitely
I was just going to say, you probably wouldn't have caught much in Rhode Island.
Yeah, that's very true. What else do we got? I think we have one more in here. This is from Ian. This is from Ian. He says, first and foremost, I know we talk bass mostly on here, but I'm sure y'all got good info for this situation. I've been chasing crappie for 2 years and have not landed one. Basically, I'm having trouble finding crappie in general. I don't have live sonar, but I do have basic fish finder on my kayak, similar to the first generation deeper tech, depth, temp, fish marking, sight fishing wise. What do I need to look for? What geological structures can I look for to give me an idea and not waste my time on fish I don't believe exists? Thanks in advance for anything helps. All the way from the south border in the state, people think is a country. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm the same way, Ian. Like, the only time I know or have confidence in being able to crappie fish at all is really just looking at any information about that body of water that the state provides with what species are in there. And then I'll go and I'll use apps like FishBrain and stuff if I'm looking at an area like, hey, what's in here? What have people caught? And then I know at least like the possibility is in there where if there's enough of them, like if there's only one northern pike in this one pond, or only one guy seems to catch northern pike in this one pond, I might think that that's bullshit. But like if I find something on the state and they're like, hey, there's these species that are in there regularly, that's pretty much it. I do typically see, I want to say most people think of fishing crappie along like deeper water around like brush piles or something like that. And sure, you can definitely find them there, but I have caught crappie so shallow. And I don't fish for crappie the way a lot of other people fish for crappie. I throw lightweight, smaller profile moving baits, and I seem to do really well being able to like quasi power fish for them. And it's a whole lot of fun. So I don't know that necessarily that I'm really any help to you, which kind of sucks. Maybe what I would do is I would use whatever resources you can as far as crappie stuff, but I wouldn't necessarily change your techniques. I would just go and just verify that they are actually in that body of water. And it's a good population that's in that body of water. Like maybe not, oh yeah, we had crappie 20 years ago and then, people were just eating them up, because that can happen too. What do you say? Joe, you've got more history with crappie, I think, than I do, don't you?
First off, fucking delete FishBrain right off your fucking phone. Because that app is such bullshit with people who kept like saying they could. Dude, the lake a mile and a half from my house, people are catching bull
sharks and tarpon. Yeah.
So
yeah.
So I'm not a crappie fisherman, but I find them, and when I find them, if I'm fucking around, I'll try to catch a few. What was the gist of the question?
Like, what should he be looking for as far as like structure, as far as like sight fishing wise, even with electronics? Like what should he be looking
I'll be 100% honest. Ian, I don't know if you're on a boat or just a shoreline. What I will say, I
think he's on a kayak.
Okay, because shore fishing for crappie are tough.
Yeah.
So if you're on a kayak, and I don't know if you have electronics, dude, it's especially in a place that doesn't have structure. It could be the smallest piece of structure. It could be a fucking one long blade of grass. Guess what? That's where the crappie are going to go to, and they're going to be schooled up. The good part is where there's a school of crappie, there's usually a couple big bass with them. Just saying. But yeah, dude. So obviously crappie are schooling fish. So they like to hang on humps, on the top of humps, and like the sole, like the sole structure. Like there's one lake that I fish, Bobby, you know it. Yep. There's one tree. Someone put a tree in there years ago when it was when it was ice, and they brought literally dragged a tree out there. Then when the ice melted, that tree went in there, and that one spot, dude, I have caught so many big crappies, so many big bass. That's the spot where I caught the 3.5 pound bass at the same time on the same jerk bait.
There.
Yeah. Yes. That spot, the tree. You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
The tree. So yeah, dude, you're just looking at if you have electronics on your boat, just use the side scan or I'm sorry, the down scan or the 2D sonar. Just find that one little bit of structure, and especially humps. If you don't have electronics, go on some kind of mapping, whether it's Navionics or whatever, and look for humps, dude, because crappie like to stick around humps as well.
Who doesn't love humps? I was looking at the map last night when I was planning my trip, and I was like, I've never noticed these humps on this one specific area. I was like, we'll go check it out and see what happens. It gets fucking shallow around those bitches. It reminded me of the shoals in St. Lawrence. Kind of, a little bit.
Yep.
So I think that's the last of our texts right there. And I think, do we have one more call to jump into? I think we do. We have one more call from Brandon.
Bobby. And who the fuck is Joe Brown? Question for just the tip or the live well. So, my 3-year-old wants to go fishing with me so bad every time. I was on FaceTime with him yesterday for a trout. He's been saying he wants to go fishing. What can I do to keep him engaged long enough for him to be interested in fishing? Tight lines.
I know exactly how to answer this one.
Oh, good.
Get him or her. I didn't hear that. Get him or her. Just one of those. This is how. Granted, Emma still fell out of it because she's a girly girl. But dude, could just get one of the push button. One of the push button fucking Disney rods or whatever. Grab a little bobber and just put some worms on a small hook and let them catch the shit out of bluegill.
Bluegill, I was gonna say bluegill is the way.
Let them reel in those fish. And guess what, dude? My kid Jackson. I was doing that for him when Meg and I first met. He was like 3.5, 4. Dude, he caught a 3.5 pound bass on one of those things. It just came up and hit that worm. But dude, just go out for bluegill, dude. Grab one while you're out doing your thing. Grab a bobber and some night crawlers or something. You don't even have to put the full night crawler, just pieces of it. Let your kid just reel in a bunch of bluegill. That'll keep them engaged. I promise you.
It's 3 is young. There are folks that it is 3 is young. So the thing to keep in mind, I think, is to keep the level of expectation more on like creating, like Dave Urquhart. I just talked about this in an episode. I would even start at home, like with him, like practicing with like a bobber just on the end of that rod so that he can start to learn the stuff before, because it is a lot. The other thing I would say is if he's getting bored, right, and maybe not right away, dude, throw a beetle spin on that and let him chuck and wind through those bluegill. Or through anything, I mean, because those will catch fish. A little, 1/8 ounce jig head or something like that. You can chuck that sucker and go ahead and do it. The fishing that I think kids have a real hard time with is if like you don't know that there's fish there and you're just letting it soaking a worm. That's when it gets really, really tough,
Mm-hmm.
That's when they lose interest. And I think that's the thing. It's like when they're done, you're done. You know what I mean? You just let them kind of do it, because the whole idea is you want to make sure that they want to come back again, Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You just, I kind of made that mistake a little bit where I didn't, I will be 100% honest. And I think this goes for Jeremiah and Emma. I was kind of selfish in ensuring that I was like doing my fishing before. I should have kept them. The advice I'm giving you is exactly what I should have done and the mistake I made.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. It's tough, man, especially because like when we're so ate up with fishing, Like, it's crazy. It's like, it's better. Because that's the thing. It's like, you can always go back out. You know what I mean? Like, you can always go back out and do your thing. And Dave Urke made a really good point, too. He was like, don't bring your good stuff because they're going to want to use dad's gear.
Also made that mistake.
So, like, bring, like...
Pick you up some ugly sticks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get yourself some ugly sticks because they're cheap and they're unbreakable.
If you can, just bring the stuff they're going to use. You know, and that is like, you know, do that because once you build that core memory and like the little bit of interest is there, that spark, then you can turn it into something where they're going to be like, oh, look, hey, we should buy a boat together. You know, be like, you're 6, calm down. You know what I mean? Something like that. But dude, like everybody in the comments right now, put a kid on a bluegill hole. Agreed. My 5-year-old daughter crushes bluegill while I'm locked in fishing. And once you set them up to build some kind of confidence with what they're doing, that's when it just becomes you're going out with another fishing buddy. Like those fishing buddies aren't born, they're made.
Yep.
You know, it's crazy. It's good shit.
Yep.
This is a fucking fantastic episode, boys. I got to tell you.
Good one.
It was an adventure every single way around. But, I should tell you guys before we wrap this one, John Carter's not in here. He's one of our jig heads. He might be shocked and surprised, but we are not ending tonight's show with the regular musical accompaniment that we have. No, instead we're going to debut the song Big Jig Energy to commemorate the first and maybe only fish this month that will be entered. Who knows? Who knows? I've got a bunch of multi-species shit to do. I'm going to be in an out of bounds area. It's going to be crazy. Joe just crashed his entire rig.
I'm good.
I am telling
everything's
you guys.
good. Everything's good. The world is not against me. Everything's good.
It's all going to be okay. And if you guys want to support, we're going to try to pay off. Candy? You can buy some Big Jigs Energy merch at jigsandbigs.com. We're going to take all of those funds and move them into a retainer.
I was going to say all jigs, big jigs, or what is it? What is your guys' name?
Big Jig Energy, dog.
All Big Jig Energy merchandise goes to the Joe's Truck Fund. Help support.
There we go. We're going to get him in a Ford Ranger as soon as possible.
Thank God for gap insurance.
Dude, oh my God, you ain't kidding, man. Like, if that should be the Just the Tip this week. It very well might be. Holy shit.
Yep.
Oh, you guys are awesome. Thanks so much for checking out the show. We really do appreciate you. Jigsandbigs.com. You can go and visit and check out all the tournament information right there. One page has every single tournament for all 2026 season. We're talking multi-species scavenger hunts. We're talking the slot limit series. And we're also talking about all of our team trail stuff. Region 1 has been a success as far as I can see right now. Yeah, folks, we had some folks asking today about adding other states and similar things. The regions are going to shape. We're going to be nationwide before you guys know it. And I'm stoked for it. It's going to be awesome. You guys rule. We will see you next time with more Jigs and friggin' Bigs goodness. Like we always say,
tits and ass, smoke some grass.
Grinding, graph lit up, but the fish ain't signing. Wind push, spot lock fighting. One cast change, now they're biting. Track slow, feel that pressure. Big ones live where it gets lesser. Confidence in every motion. We hunt